ash on my tongue, iron in my lungs, blood on the snow, name on the sheets, night in my veins, storm in my ears. Wolves trace our steps, God's count our kill. You are waiting for Valhalla, I can hear it in your roar. Every scar a burning banner, every heartbeat keeps the door. You are waiting for Valhalla as the crows begin to call. If I fall in thunder. You are waiting for Valhalla. Frost on the oars, breathe like white smoke. Eyes on the shore, fire in the dark. Oath on my tongue, salt on my cloak. If this is the end, let it leave a mark. You are waiting for Valhalla, I can hear it in your roar. Every scar a burning banner, every heartbeat keeps the door. You are waiting for Valhalla as the crows begin to call. If I fall in thunder. You are waiting for Valhalla. If I do not see the morning, carry my name in your mouth. Raise up the horn, pour the glory, let my children hear the shout. Hey! You are waiting for Valhalla, I can hear it in your roar. Hey! Every scar a burning banner, every heartbeat keeps the door. You are waiting for Valhalla as the crows begin to call. If we fall in thunder. You are waiting for Valhalla.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday night, which means it's a time for another live stream. We have a lot to talk about tonight, a lot of stories this week, a lot of viral stories that we have to cover. How's everybody doing tonight? A lot of competition right now. Barron just went live at the exact same time as me. Got some other guys in the space, all live at once. All right, so competitive night for streaming, but that's all right. Somebody said, am I on GLP-1? I take a very, very low dose of it. Although I kind of stopped like a month ago because I don't really need it, but I do like it for appetite suppressant. All right, we got a lot of big stories to talk about. Okay, so we're going to kind of do these in order. First one we're going to hit, JD Vance is having a rough week. If you haven't watched my video I put out on it today, we're going to cover a little bit of that, talk about it. We're going to talk about just a tiny bit about the Andrew Tate situation. Again, got a whole video on that, so we won't go too deep, but I want to get your guys' opinions on some of this stuff. All right, so we'll be doing some polls early in the channel. We're going to cover the Iran war, of course. How could we not? Because it's literally at the highest levels of escalation possible. Donald Trump is literally, I had to change the title and the thumbnail of this live stream 10 minutes ago because this dude literally just put out a tweet bragging about U.S. troops being killed. So things are bizarre out here. Let's just say that, okay? And then let's see what. Excuse me. We're going to talk about. Hey, if things weren't bad enough, looks like we're going to merge our militaries with Israel, and that final vote goes through tomorrow, and it's looking like it's going to pass. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the economy because the economy is going to be, pardon my French, effed if we don't figure this war out quick. Something like I've been telling you guys for months and months and months that if this escalates, potentially the Houthis are going to shut down the Strait of Mandab, which is going to shut down another 10% of the world's oil. And they've just announced they're going to do that. So that should be great. All right. We're going to cover stuff with Trump, a lot of stuff with the Democrats tonight, good and bad. And then a little bit of Republicans as well. All right. So how's everybody doing? Where are we tuning in from tonight before we get started? We'll get started here in the next couple minutes. Let everybody funnel themselves in. Where are we all tuning in from, huh? I'm in Oregon. Tel Aviv, of course. Friend of the show, Benjamin Netanyahu is here. It's going to be important because BB will be in some of the clips tonight. So good to see. Slovakia. All right. What do we got? It's interesting. Maine. Oof. Well, Maine's having a rough time right now. We all know what happened there with Graham Plattner dropping out of the race. Hawaii. Nice. Columbia. All right. Guam, Kentucky, Willamette Valley. Where in the Willamette Valley? The Willamette Valley is huge, brother. I'm in the Willamette Valley. There's a lot of places. All right. Montana, hell yeah. A lot of good spots tonight. Okay. Let's jump into it. Let's kick this thing off. We do have a lot to get through tonight. A lot of topics to talk about. I do want to start with the JD Vance, Joe Rogan interview. Okay. I know a lot of you guys have probably seen the clips on this. We're going to play a few of the clips. We're also going to get some takes from Tim Dillon. We showed that one earlier. But I want to know what's your guys' feelings on the JD Vance, Joe Rogan interview. If you haven't seen it yet, well, there's plenty of clips on Twitter if you don't watch the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole thing. I can't sit down for 3 hours and watch that show for that long. But it seems to me, and we talked about this on the show months and months and months ago, that this was coming, that JD Vance was going to pivot away from MAGA and try to distance himself and be the America First candidate. We all figured this was coming, and it looks like Joe Rogan they try to use Joe Rogan to soft launch JD Vance, recreate him, rebrand him as the, cool, hip America First conservative, right? He's a conspiracy theorist about the files just like we are. He's trying to shut down our greatest ally, right? Well, I don't know. I just don't know if I buy any of it, guys. I don't know if I buy it. And a lot of people didn't buy it either. But let's look at a few clips here. And this is obviously what they were trying to do. And let's see. Let me make sure I pull this up here for us to all look at. Obviously, what they were trying to do here is a rebrand. So here's him talking about I believe, Big E being connected to our greatest allies' intelligence apparatuses. I believe that's what this one is.
Well, most people think he was Mossad.
Yeah, Mossad or CIA or some other deep state, whether in America or Israel or another country, or both. Look, he clearly had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence.
Well, most people think.
How's the volume on these clips? Is that too loud? It sounds a little loud, but if it's okay, then I'll leave it be. Anyway, let me know. So, okay, this was the theme of the episode, right? Where he all of a sudden is, concerned about the Epstein files. He's concerned about Israel. He's concerned about all the volume's good. Okay, good. He's concerned about all of, all of the, all of the things we are. It's interesting. He was silent for the last 12 months and all of this, and now all of a sudden,
well, most people think it's just
he was Mossad. He's on our side. Let's see. Let's
very disheartening that you have
see another one here.
Politically homeless. That more shocking, or when he said Michelle Obama is a man.
Here we go. Here's another one.
Do you think that Israel is affecting American political judgment?
The fuck? Where is this playing from? Sorry, guys. I've got a separate
My dearest love.
video playing
Not more
somewhere in my
shocking
headset.
or when
Okay, here we go.
not more shocking or when he said Michelle
All right, sorry about that, guys. Couldn't figure out where this volume was coming from. Okay, here's another one. As he's the hip cool kid.
Obama is a man. Which one was more shocking?
Let's restart that real quick.
Definitely.
Not more shocking or when he said Michelle Obama is a man? Which one was more shocking?
Definitely the armbar part. Man, I work in politics. People say crazy stuff all the time.
Well, he says that every fight.
Does he?
Yeah. He said that the last time I interviewed him.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Well,
dude,
he's like a pro wrestling character. Like
people lost their minds about it.
I know.
Lost their minds about it to the point where, again, I had The View either the next day or the day after to sort of promote this book.
That must be fun.
It was crazy. It was harder than anything I've done in politics. But the to the point where all of my comms people, the thing they were most worried about was they're going to ask you about Michelle Obama being called a man.
Well, I mean, it's pretty like he says, what are you going to say? I mean, what you should say is you should just be a normal fucking person and be like, yeah, that wasn't appropriate. Not like, and again, I don't care about the jokes, but maybe the event at the White House, that's obviously a political event, maybe that's not a good thing, right? Maybe it's not good to insult the former president's wife publicly at the White House. You know, just like if you're the vice president and you're trying to be a politician, it's typically a pretty good way to do it, right? Is, you know, he, as you saw, Joe asked him the first question. Yeah, like the cool guy, JD Vance, right? Everything's a big joke to JD, right? And again, we see the pivot, we see the rebrand. Everybody sees it. And again, if he thought it was going to work, it's not working very well because, you know, the manosphere, Joe Rogan's friends, people like Tim Dillon and Dave Chappelle have just utterly, abusively mocked JD this week for this. So we're going to watch Tim talk about this because he nails it, of course, as usual. So let's listen to what Tim had to say about this.
The thing when like JD Vance goes on Rogan and goes, well, you know, they have this whole discussion about the Epstein docs, and JD is like, I'll go to my death believing it was a larger conspiracy. You know, it's kind of like these guys like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's like, no, you're the vice president. What are you talking about? JD Vance is talking about this like he's a guy at a bar in the town I grew up in on Long Island, where he'd be like, I'll always believe it was a conspiracy. You sure? That guy owns a pool company. He's gonna be like, yeah, what are you gonna do? I'll always believe someone on there. This guy's the vice president of the United States of America, going on the biggest podcast in the world, going, yep, I read all the files. Trump's innocent. Also, I'll always believe there was a greater conspiracy there. I'll always think something was going on. But what am I going to do? I'm the vice president. That's JD Vance's character arc right now. Is his whole entire thing is just telling people what the vice president can't do. Like, what about the war in Iran? He goes, you know, there's not much I can do. I just kind of hang out and, you know, watch as I'm part of the administration that betrays its voters and does the opposite of everything it said it was going to do. I just kind of hang out and, you know, this Epstein thing, who knows? You know, what are you going to do? It's a lot of what are you going to do energy from the vice president. I'm not saying the vice president's like an all-powerful figure, but it's just hilarious that, like, that's his argument. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, these Epstein docs, you know, isn't that nuts, Joe? You heard about that? What? You're the vice president of the United States. They keep trying to play this game where they're like, this folksy, kind of like relatable, like, yeah, these fucking elites, with they're fucking the kids, they're stealing your money. What? Who? You are doing it.
Yep.
You're the ones who are doing it.
Yep.
And they're relying on the fact that some of their most ardent supporters, the ones who aren't directly being paid off, are the stupidest people in the world.
MAGA.
So that still works on them. They're like, yeah, fucking Hillary. Hillary Clinton. Fucking Hillary Clinton. The guy, they're in the White House. They have the Congress. They have the Senate.
Yeah.
They have the Supreme Court.
All right. So make sure you go watch. Man, Tim is just the GOAT, dude. I wish I was that funny, right? I think I have like decent comedy in my politics, but that I can watch that dude all day long and he will make me laugh all day long. Tim Dillon's the absolute GOAT. But he brings up great points in all of that, right? Whereas JD Vance is, again, just like this America First pivot where he's like, oh, yeah, I don't know, not much I can do, even though, hey, JD, remember, you were the guy who led the Situation Room, that meeting that you guys had to figure out how to cover up the Epstein files because they were so bad for Donald Trump. Remember that meeting, JD Vance, that you were in charge of, that you were leading? Yeah, so you might actually have some power and influence here that we would think, again, but maybe not, right? Again, he's somehow one of us. JD Vance is just one of the guys, right? I don't know what's going on. I'm just the vice president. I'm not the president. It's like, okay, man. Okay, guy, you are forever tied to Donald Trump and everything that's happening. And they're trying this. I mean, his team is working overtime, guys, on trying to and our friend of the show, Bibi Netanyahu, is not going to like this, but yeah, I mean, you see this here. JD Vance's team working to block a Trump-Bibi meeting over Iran. Now, do you think this is actually true? Do you think this is actually happening? Absolutely effing not. Of course not. But this is what they're trying to put out, right? They're trying to rebrand him as the guy who is standing up to our greatest ally, standing up to the deep state. And it's like, okay, guy, right? Like, Bibi's not happy about this, right? We know this. We were expecting this. Now, what's so funny about this, guys, is this, when you talk about like a political PR campaign, right? The idea is to expand your coalition, to expand your base. You want to make more people support you, because if you're going to run for president, you're going to have to cross party lines. You got to get the independents. You got to get MAGA. You got to get the neocons. You got to get the America Firsters. You got to get everybody if you want to win. JD Vance somehow, I've never seen this in politics, he has made everyone hate him, including the MAGA base. And if you guys haven't seen this, MAGA now hates him more than anybody. Let me show you some of these MAGA pages. The way they're talking about JD Vance this week. This was, 2 days ago? It says, America, wake up. JD Vance is an anti-Trump groiper who infiltrated the Trump administration to destroy MAGA from within. Ooh, right? I mean, those are MAGA pages. JD Vance sold his soul to Qatar. Save your country. Do not let him get away with sabotaging American patriotism, Trump's legacy, or American children's future. Okay. You got another MAGA page. Here's this one. It says, out of 8.3 billion people on Earth, there's only one person who trusts Iran. His name is JD Vance. Ooh. And here's another one. Yeah. Something fishy's going on. In the past 24 hours, Iranian state TV has reportedly mentioned JD Vance positively 83 times, while often attacking our greatest ally and American allies. They have praised Vance more than their own president. We have a saying in the Middle East: if the Islamic regime of Iran loves your position, you're probably doing something wrong. There you go. We didn't know JD Vance is MAGA hates him now, right? The hilarious part about that is MAGA hates him. Well, the America First conservatives still hate him, because everybody knows he's just Peter Thiel's little lab creation that's part of the PayPal small tech surveillance state Palantir mafia. We all know he's just a Trojan horse to get him in there to install all this. Then the left hates him because he's JD Vance. He's a Republican. So who likes JD Vance? I mean, again, politically, guys, his base doesn't like him. The other conservative bases don't like him. The left doesn't like him. It's almost amazing. It's almost impressive. I mean, his wife doesn't like him. It's almost impressive how disliked this guy is. But there is, as I showed in my video earlier, a couple people who do somehow like JD Vance, and it happens to be Bill Maher and John Fetterman.
Omar says he's open to voting for Vance in 2028. I don't know how many different ways I can warn people about this guy. Bill Maher is not your friend, Democrats. I don't know what it's going to take for people to stop watching this guy. He's John Fetterman with a talk show. So useful for all the wrong people. And it's time to turn this guy off.
So again, while literally, oh yeah, I guess Erica, right? TPUSA likes him. Let's be fair. Erica Kirk and TPUSA likes him. My bad, guys. My bad. Okay, so he does have, and they're doing very well with their base, right? Like they're absolutely crushing it. Sorry, getting my allergies right now, killing me. If you see me come off the camera, it's because I'm blowing my nose. Now we can actually see this in the predictive markets too, right? If we actually look at this is the 2028 predictive markets on, let's see, this one's Kalshi. And we can see this is, if you go back 1 year ago, right? This is a year chart. This is JD Vance in the green line. You've got Gavin Newsom in the orange line, Marco Rubio in the blue line. You see JD Vance was just a massive 31, 32 at the highest, 33% at the highest, favorite to win in 2028. Massive, right? As we see though, he has just burned into the ground. And when did this start? Started about January of this year, right? Right around the time I think the Epstein files came out. And he is just tanked into the oblivion. He's now tied with Marco Rubio at 18%. Again, massive free fall, and he continues to fall because, yeah, somehow, I mean, this guy managed to have the worst political PR strategy I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything this bad. It's like too little, too late, man. You tried to be America first, but you tried a year and a half late. You're talking about the Epstein files? Yeah, cool. You should have released them. You're the vice president. You should have had some influence on that. The Iran war. Guess what? You've been supporting Donald Trump in the Iran war the entire time. Now, when it's unpopular and it's failing 5 months later, you want to try to distance yourself a little bit. It's not how this works, man. You're connected. Let's see. Where's my poll at? All right. I asked you guys, if you buy the JD Vance America First pivot, 97% of you say no, absolutely not. And I'm with you guys. It's all bullshit, right? It's all PR. It's all theater. He is an opportunist. That's what JD Vance is. I think JD Vance is just the right Gavin Newsom. They're like the same person side by side. They will be whatever they need to be at that moment, which they think is the most politically beneficial. So he has no real ideologies. He's got no morals or values. He's just whatever he thinks will make him more popular at the time. And we're seeing that right now. And it's just not working. It's not working for him. All right, that's going to do it for talking about JD. We're going to jump into the Tate brothers here next. Let's hit the super chats. Before we do that, get your guys' take. Grand Bear says, happy Tuesday, Nate. Today, your boy Tardio called for, we'll talk about this real quick. If you guys didn't see, but hold on. I do want to talk about Matt Tardio for a second. For the U.S. to use B-61 nukes on Pixac Mountain to send a message to Iran today. Awesome FFS. Look, me and Matt Tardio, you guys know, we don't agree on anything. Literally anything. However, I will give Matt credit. If you didn't see, Matt put out a big public apology to me and Ian Carroll. He called me personally to apologize for talking shit about me. He went on a podcast with Gary and talked shit about me with him. And Matt put out a big public apology and sent me like a really sincere apology and felt super bad about doing it. So I want to give him a little bit of grace, man. You know what I mean? Because that takes a lot for a grown man to do that. But me and Matt have been friends for a long time, right? I've known Matt for a long time. And he's a good dude. We don't agree on anything, but this is the thing. This is the thing right here. And so let's give him a little bit of grace, right? Because Matt was cool enough to it's hard to do as a grown man when we fuck up and we do something stupid. And he was willing to do that publicly and privately. All right. Now, as for the other guy, he can go fuck himself. You know who I'm talking about. But Matt is cool in our book. All right. So again, not that we agree with anything that comes out of his fucking mouth, because he doesn't agree with anything that I do, but me and Matt are friends, and I really appreciated the public apology. All right. So let's not beat him up too bad. Okay, let's keep moving. All right. The testosterone thing is a good thing, but also is a sign that we are preparing for a ground invasion. Mark, interesting. Well, we're going to get to that. In my opinion, what do you think? We are signaling more and more that this is the way things are headed. And we'll talk about that. We have a big Iran war section coming up right after the Tate brothers. I'll get to it, Mark. But I think you got a good idea on that. Our son loves tapping the screen where the cow is. Yeah, I get this a lot, guys. I get this a lot. A lot of the viewers say they have kids that really like my setup because we have, we got sirloin, we got Wangus back here. We haven't named the new one. This is the new cow. It's not a MAGA hat. I just want to make sure you guys could see. It's a USA hat, right? We obviously wouldn't have a MAGA cow in here, but I know a lot of the viewers, kids like the cows, so that's pretty neat. Okay, let's keep moving. And we're going to jump right back here in a second. Our son, okay, we got that one. JD says, you better not talk shit about JD tonight. Call him Vance or Couch Humper. That's right. Sometimes the audience gets a little confused when I talk about JD. We're talking about JD Vance, not my homie JG Delay on this one tonight. JD is out of the YouTube jail, by the way, guys. So make sure you be on the lookout for his content. He gets banned more than anybody I've ever seen. So, all right, a couple more and we'll jump back in. Kay says, sent 5 Valhalla VFT memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For those of you who got those, make sure we got cool emojis. Make sure you use them. All right, 2 more. Let's jump back into the show. Blue Eyed said, going to be on rewatch because of Baron, but I've liked the small support because I love you. All good, guys. I know me and Baron have a lot of crossover audience, and Baron is more exciting to watch on his live streams. He's incredible at it. It's all good. So I appreciate all of Baron's audience who's going to come watch after Baron's show. I appreciate it, right? Breaking Points talked to Washington Congress Adam Smith, chair of Armed Service. He's denying that they aren't trying to merge militaries. Well, they are, and we're going to talk about the bill. It's being voted on tomorrow, by the way. So they're trying to, of course, they're trying to gaslight and mislead people, but we have a whole section on that tonight, right after the Iran war. We got that one lined up. All right, last one. Helm Hammerhand says, VFT, I definitely disagree with you on a lot of topics. We'd probably be good friends, but my only question, are you ever going to release the intro music to the masses? We did that already. Here's what I need to do. It's Jared Taylor made it. It's up on his website for everybody to go and download. What I'll do, guys, is I'm going to get the link to his music SoundCloud. That way I can put it up in the description so everybody can go and download the music. I get asked this all the time. I just keep forgetting to do it. So sorry, but I will do that. I will get it up for everybody to watch. Okay, let's jump in. Let's talk about, we got to talk about the Tate brothers. This is going to be a quick one. I don't want to get too deep into this. I really just want to get your guys' opinions because this is all over the place. It's interesting. Some people are like, yeah, obviously these guys are fucking creepy PDF human traffickers. Other people are like, this is a giant deep state hit. The Tate brothers are innocent. They did nothing wrong. It's just governments are trying to bring them down, right? So first thing I want to do, and again, I believe in innocent until proven guilty. I will say, based off of the more research I've done, it is not looking good for the Tate brothers. It's looking like they're probably pretty fucking guilty. But again, innocent until proven guilty, right? Let's just see what, and this is just how you feel, right? Yeah, we haven't got the trial or evidence or anything like that. How do you feel? And I've watched videos of these guys and the things they've said and done, so that's how I feel. But how do you guys feel? Are they being railroaded, or are they probably just creepy weirdos that are guilty, right? So and again, this is just so I can get an idea of where you guys are at. Doesn't matter. No judgment on anybody about how you feel. We'll say probably guilty. Deep state setup. All right. Let me see what you guys think on this. Now, regardless of what we think, I mean, the reality is this is objectively hilarious, right? I mean, his outfit that he's wearing when he gets arrested. Let's watch this real quick. First thing I noticed, do you see, this is not what innocent people do. Do you see his phone here? How he tries to slide his phone to his bodyguard? Most likely because he doesn't want the feds to know what's on that fucking phone, if I had to guess. And then the outfits, obviously. I mean, these are women's clothes, by the way, guys. These are actually from Zara. People have found these online. It's literally women's clothes, which I don't know. I know these guys are supposed to be the masculine alpha males, but wearing women's clothes, rich white women's clothes is bizarre to me. I can't talk shit. I dress like a punk rock fucking emo douchebag. I get it, but at least I'm not wearing women's clothing, pretending to be an alpha male. So they also had Tristan Tate in let's see if I can pull it up. This fucking I can't get it. This mob boss outfit, right? Now, this gets even more ridiculous, right? When we look at this, and I'll pull this up from my video. If you do the actual, the zoomed out footage of this, you see everything is happening. Look at it. Look at this shit, dude. This doesn't look real. Okay, this is not AI. This is real. You've got Andrew Tate in women's clothing. You've got whatever their fucking friend's name is in literally John Travolta's outfit from Saturday Night Fever. And then you've got Tristan Tate here dressed up as a 1960s, 1950s mob boss. What the fuck are we doing here? Then you have SpongeBob. You guys probably haven't seen this angle, or I guess they call him Freak Bob. I think he's part of their alpha male universe. But look at this. It's from a different angle. And yes, you do have Andrew Tate dressed up as a 70-year-old rich white woman. Okay, that's me covering this. Let's get to the actual part of this here. There we go. I mean, look at this. This is real.
Back up.
But we got to talk about I mean, what the fuck? What are we doing, dude? I'm supposed to look at that and be like, yeah, these are alpha males. You're dressed in women's clothing. You're LARPing as a fucking mob boss or a chauffeur or whatever it is. You got SpongeBob mascot there. Like, I don't know, guys. I would say maybe I'm old, but I'm pretty sure I'm the same age as Andrew and Tristan Tate. So I don't think this is it's not like they're clavicular. It's not like they're 20-year-old kids, right? Like these are like 40-year-old grown men who are acting this way and dressing this way and bringing Freak Bob mascots or whatever you call it. Sorry guys. If that's what you're into, if that's what you're like, and I don't understand all these young men that are like, free Andrew Tate. I'm like, that's your guy? That's your hero? What we just saw? You look at that and you're like, yeah, that's fucking cool. These guys are so cool. Really? Really? There aren't like cooler dudes for you to look up to out there? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy here, guys. Let's see what the poll says. Oh, okay. The poll, we got a 93.7. So yeah, looks like we're all sort of in the same boat on this one. That yeah, maybe they're just creepy weirdos. I don't know. But again, guys, here's the thing. They're not important. They're also not relevant. Andrew and Tristan Tate are not relevant anymore. You don't see their clips anymore. They don't have viral anything. No one gives a fuck about them. So why would governments create this massive, extensive setup, deep state hit with all this? Like, nobody cares about these guys. Why would all these governments beat after them? You know what I mean? Maybe if this was like 2021 or 2022 when they were actually popular and relevant, but they're not. I haven't seen an Andrew Tate clip, like a viral reel in like 3 years. You know what I mean? But anyway. Oh yeah, you're gone, dude. That's not how that works. You try to trash my resume? You try to attack me because I'm a Green Beret with a master's degree? I don't know if that's an insult there, bro. That's a good try, though. That's a good try. While you work at Chevron, I know you're jealous, but that's okay. All right, now, I'm not going to get too deep into the Tate stuff. We might do more content on it if we start to get more information out of it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just I don't get the appeal personally, right? Like those dudes are not, to me, that's like, those aren't cool dudes. There's a lot of cool dudes on the internet, like objectively cool dudes that I look at. I'm like, those dudes are cool. The Tates, the manosphere, I don't know. But again, I've got an entire separate YouTube channel on American Thor where I literally make fun of these guys all day long. So I've been trashing the fake alpha male universe for a long time. All right, whatever. I digress. Not that big of a deal. We got to get into the bulk of the show, which is going to be everything happening with the Iran war. Oh shit! I thought I pulled this up. I need to get Donald Trump's. He literally just tweeted this 2 hours ago. So we'll get to that. Where did I put this? Here it is. Let me get it. Okay, let's start with this. All right. I can't believe he just posted this. Let's break this down. So this is Donald Trump's recent tweet. Just put this out as of 2 hours ago. Here's what he says. Donald Trump says, Afghanistan war, 20 years, 2,000 dead. Iraq war, 9 years, 4,600 dead. Vietnam war, 19 years, 58,000 dead. Korean war, 3 years, 36,000 dead. Venezuela war, 1 day, 0 dead. Okay. Iran military conflict, 4 months, 18 dead. So I think he's trying to brag about the fact that there's only 18 dead soldiers so far. Like, this is a good thing. This is impressive. Like, Americans should be like, yeah, we've only had almost, and it's starting to look like, based off of reports, and you guys have talked about this a lot on the show, do you think the government is covering up casualties? Do you think they are hiding the number of casualties? Guys, it looks like I'm going to do an episode on this. I thought there's no way that this was happening. You guys have heard me say that. It looks like this was happening. It looks like we do know now that the Pentagon is covering up the number of casualties, American casualties. And we're gonna probably do an entire story on that. And again, I've been somebody that said you guys know, I'll come back to this in a second. You guys know on this channel, I've been like, I don't think so, guys, right? I do not think the government or the Pentagon or the military would do this or be able to do this. And I'm telling you now, yeah, they almost certainly are. They almost certainly are, based off all the new reporting and everything that we're getting. Sounds like there's been hundreds of casualties, not from Iran state media. This is from actual American media journalists that have been digging into this story over the last week. The most recent Iranian strikes that killed 4 more people, and I believe some are still missing. Sounds like there's hundreds of casualties from those strikes that they just didn't tell us about. Okay, so we'll get to that. But anyway, that's fucking gross. Let's get back to what's so wrong with this tweet Donald Trump's putting out. First of all, bragging about 18 dead for a conflict we should never have been in is 18 too many. It's also like, this is how the time works in a linear fashion, you fucking idiot. Like, you need to put so far, right? Because why? There's only one of these is a current military conflict, which is the Iran military conflict. It is 4 months and going. So you need to put 4 months, 18 dead, so far. Because guess what? There was a point, the Afghan war had only 18 casualties, and at one point was only 4 months into it. The Iraq war, the Vietnam war, Venezuela or Korean war. All of these wars at one point only had 18 dead troops, and we're only 4 months into the conflict. And guess what happens? Potentially they last another 20 fucking years. But this is not over, which means this number, as we see this week, continues to go up. And so bragging about the fact we've only had 20 dead soldiers and 500 plus, it sounds like, wounded so far in 4 months when we haven't even put boots on the ground yet. That's not impressive. That's horrible. You've got 20 dead troops and 500 casualties in a conflict that's not even put boots on the ground yet? What? You actually extrapolate the math away from that. Afghanistan, we only lost 2,000 troops in 20 years with a full-scale ground invasion and occupying force in that country. We would be on pace to blow that out of the water in the Iran war. So this isn't like, again, and that's just our casualties. This is a good point here too. Think about all these civilian death on the other side, including all these little elementary school girls. Like, bragging about this, it's just, oh. But I mean, his base is probably going to see that and be like, yeah, dope. But how are things going for Trump, right? I saw this picture, and I think this picture really like sums up how things are actually going for Trump, right? Like, this is the real Donald Trump presidency right here, and the war, right? Nearly, as it says, nearly month 5 of the 3-day special military operation against Iran. Yes, old DJT looking good, ladies and gentlemen, looking good, right? That's the way. That's the way the war's actually going so far. Now, here we go. Let's keep it moving. We got a lot to get through here on this. All right. So as we saw it, I did a video thinking it was 2 soldiers killed in action. Turns out it was 4 soldiers killed in action for this week. And then you had the remains of a soldier that was found under rubble in Jordan, another dying from an Iranian drone in Iraq. So again, there are casualties, KIA, in Iraq now, on top of Jordan, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, etc. Right? So yay, more. Also, Donald Trump, instead of contacting the families, was golfing all day when he was supposed to be reporting to that. Now, Donald Trump's response to this is this. This came out an hour, 2 hours ago. Trump says they'll be hitting Iran very soon. It says, of note, U.S. CENTCOM has struck Iran for the last 9 consecutive days. Yes, 9 straight days. But we're gonna keep bombing them, I guess. Keep bombing them. Because this has really worked so far, right? We just keep dropping bombs on random shit. And hey, you guys ever seen this before? Donald Trump also said today, Iran wants to meet desperately. We have zero interest. Oh, okay. So Iran wants a peace deal. Now Donald Trump saying he's got no interest in a peace deal. So yeah, we're back to that. And here he was again. All right. This was 2 days ago. As Donald Trump says, Iran is begging me to unleash the beast at them. Somebody's got to take this dude's phone, bro. I have been extremely lean, but they're leaving me no choice other than to completely destroy them now. Can we break this tweet down? Iran is begging me to unleash the beast at them. I have no choice but to completely destroy them now. So I guess we're gonna nuke Iran. We're back to that. I'm not even sure what this fucking means. Iran's begging. We're back to this, right? Iran is begging Donald Trump to attack them, to bomb them. We're back to all that, right? On top of this, we've had the U.S. State Department issuing worldwide caution alert for all U.S. citizens traveling and living abroad. Now, why might that be? Why might that be? I don't know. Maybe because the entire fucking world hates us right now. And it's probably not safe for American citizens in a lot of different countries right now because of literally what we're doing. So, hey, maybe if we could, stop fucking bombing the shit out of everybody, Americans would be a little bit safer on their vacations visiting foreign countries, right? Here's another one. Donald, let's just look at just stupid shit that the admin keeps saying. I don't know. Obviously, this is for the Fox News boomers, right? Here you got Donald Trump saying 2 days ago that he's going to open the gates of hell. Yes, he ordered CENTCOM. He ordered CENTCOM to open the gates of hell. Okay. Here was me, my response. So, yeah, as you can see, sometimes I can't help myself with commenting on the White House pages right here. It is what it is. Here's some other dumb shit. Here's Pete Hegseth saying, Godspeed, heroes. Their sacrifice only stiffens our resolve. And we know Pete Hegseth is stiff as fuck based off of these new testosterone changes, right? So we'll talk about that here in a second. But no, guess what? Their sacrifices for what? And I hate to say this as a veteran. What the fuck is their sacrifice for? I'm not seeing that as a sacrifice. I'm seeing that as a waste of life. You wasted the lives of 18 service members. There are a bunch of maimed service members. We don't talk about the fact that all of these ballistic missile strikes that have wounded another 500 plus soldiers, like some of these people are missing limbs from these airstrikes. Like legs are missing, arms are missing. But they're not showing us any of that, right? It's happening. You don't have 600 casualties without serious wounds, right? I've been in the areas, been around explosions, and they're ugly, especially what they do to human beings, right? But they're not showing us that. Now, Marco Rubio, speaking of dumb shit, although I do agree with him on this, it's just not true, said this.
Protect global shipping, but other countries need to begin to step up and provide, whether it's hardware or financing, to help.
All right, there's too much background music with that. But basically what he says in this is that other countries need to step up. It's not the United States' job to protect the entire planet. I agree with you, Marco. It's not our job. You know who we should also include in that? Because he says the entire world. Oh, Israel. Oh, that's right. It's not our job to protect them either, bud. But that doesn't seem to stop you. Seems right. Oh, it's not our job to protect the world. Okay, well, fucking put your money when your mouth is and stop then. How about that? Now, this is the worst possible outcome of what could happen, right? We don't know for sure if they've done this yet, but we've talked about it on the channel before. And that is if the Houthis, and they have announced a maritime blockade of Saudi Arabia, which is where the Strait of Mandab is, opening a new front in the U.S.-Iran war. Okay, and here you got a picture of Donald Trump pointing to it. Here's the Strait of Mandab, right? As you can see, this is now Saudi Arabia, even though while the Strait of Hormuz is shut down, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, they can't transport any oil out. But Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Iraq can transport oil out. That's another 10% of the world's oil comes out of the Strait of Mandab. Well, that's right next to Yemen here, and potentially the Houthis now are discussing working with Iran to shut that down. So if this happens, and another 10% of the world's oil supply is shut down, guys, oh my God, dude. I don't know what it's going to do to gas prices, but I mean, I think we could very easily see $10+ a gallon gas, especially once the reserves run out. We've got some, once we get to the economy section, some breakdown of how many barrels we have left in the strategic oil reserves. It's not a lot, by the way. It's about 2 weeks to a couple months, depending on how much we release. But that's the worst possible scenario, right? Now you also got friend of the show, BB, is also dropping these now. Iran now has chemical weapons and is a danger. Okay, so apparently the Iran is 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon for the last 48 years or whatever it is. Hasn't worked, and so now we're switching it up to chemical weapons. Chemical weapons. Yes, we gotta get those fear factor in. We got a new thing, Hilariously, while this is all is happening, Saudi Arabia now has announced that they're going to begin enriching uranium after they got Trump's approval. So apparently Saudis are now going to be able to develop nuclear weapons. So we now have a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. So yeah, wow, good job. Now, at this point, whatever, let them all have them, I guess. I don't really care. But yeah, I'm not sure this is doing well for us. There's a lot of talks right now coming out of the Pentagon that we are running out of munitions. Yes, the U.S. lacks munitions to resume an all-out war with Iran. There's been a lot of people talking about this. That Pentagon had even released the figures on all of the different munitions that we use, Tomahawk missiles, all these different things, and basically a lot of these we're not going to be able to replenish these up until like 2030, 2031 on a lot of these. So let's say we were to get at like something crazy happens, right? And we actually end up in a massive actual war with a peer, right? Russia, China, whatever, right? Hypothetically, we're not even going to be able to fight the war because we don't have any fucking munitions left because we're just bombing the desert right now. We're just dropping bombs in the desert in Iran just to do it. So now the military industrial complex is making that a money baby off of that, right? But for us, it's not looking good. If something serious actually happens, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, this was pretty wild. Our greatest ally came out and announced that they have no interest in joining us in the war against Iran. We thought we were fighting this together. Well, it turns out, no, we're not. They haven't done anything. They haven't been a part of this at all. And check this out. This is their finance minister.
צריך לזכור, באיראן יש כרגע אינפלציה של 85%. אני אגיד ככה, כרגע למדינת ישראל אין אינטרס להצטרף למערכה. המצב הנוכחי שבה יש מערכה מתוחמת בין איראן לארצות הברית הוא הנכון והטוב ביותר לנו. צריך לזכור.
So, as he says there, currently, Israel has no interest in being involved in the war between the United States and Iran. Okay. Uh-oh. They got me. Well, that was weird. It's like my I don't know if it's the internet. Am I back? Are we back? That was weird. I got a big error message and then the mic went out. We're good? Okay, I don't know where. Yeah, that was weird. That wasn't me muting it. I got a big error message there. Anyway, I'm talking about it's like, isn't it weird that we've been, look, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. We have been smooth this entire show. And the second I start talking about that topic, the entire stream cuts out. Now, again, it's probably just a coincidence, but God, man, that's fucking weird. This is, guys, and if you're, regulars on the show will know, this happens every time. Like every time I do this, it's just a coincidence that we get nuked right when we bring this up. All right, let's move past that. We'll come back to that. Some other things going on. Hey, guess what, guys? U.S. military planners examine potential Cuba invasion. You happy yet? You winning? You feel like you're winning? Because we're about to start a war with another country. So, yes, with the U.S. Israeli war on Iran resuming, senior Pentagon officials are also reportedly monitoring another potential hotspot closer to the U.S. So, I mean, I guess we're not even going to wait until this one's over. Let's just crack off another one. Let's go fight Cuba too. So, yeah, that's great, right? Got a lot going on. I do want to still show this though, because this is gross. For those of you who haven't seen this, this is our Greatest Ally Telegram channel that posted. This is one of the soldiers that was sadly killed in those airstrikes this week. And as you see here, they are all mocking and laughing at her. 865 laughing emojis as our Greatest Ally continues to mock and laugh at dead soldiers. Now, nothing surprising there. I mean, we've seen stuff like this over and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, it's just pretty rough. One last one, right? We talk about what's going on with the military. Of course, if you want the best take ever, and by that I'm being sarcastic, the worst take ever, let's hear what Ben Shapiro has to say about what's going on with the military.
We must rebuild the American military. This is not optional. This is necessary. The president has asked in the new National Defense Authorization Act, he has asked for a significant upgrade in our military capacity, including with regard to things like Patriots and THAADs. Democrats are
because we ran out of them all, by the way,
calling this out on the basis that they're angry about the Iran war. Now, first of all, we should point out Iran does not exist as even a baseline military power without Chinese and Russian help. They don't. These are people who could not construct an IKEA box. Okay.
He's talking about Persians. Persians couldn't construct an IKEA box. Some of the most technologically, and when you talk about things like doctors, right, medical, advanced in the world, the Persian people, some of the most technologically advanced people in the world, some of the most highly educated people in the world are Persians, but they can't construct a IKEA box. Okay, Ben, interesting.
But somehow they have fairly sophisticated weaponry, courtesy of the Chinese. We need to build up our military, and that means we need to get sophisticated about it.
All right, so we'll talk about what that means because, of course, Pete Hegseth is begging for more money, and we're going to get to that in the economy section here in just a moment, okay? Now we're gonna hit the us and our greatest ally merging our militaries here in the next section. I know a lot of people are interested in that. Big vote today. Didn't go very well. The final vote on this is tomorrow. We're definitely going to talk about all that. Let's hit a couple super chats, and then I need to do a shout out for a local nonprofit that we're working with here in a minute. I'll show you guys that in a second, but let's do a couple of these first. Theater kid who needs a swirly. You're talking about JD. He's tall though. He's a big dude. Big dude. Might need to use a bathtub for it. Joe says, I think I figured it out. Big E wasn't a Mossad agent. He was a massage agent. Must have been a typo somewhere. Well, we do know he did fancy that, Joe, for sure. Bobby says, JD, you can polish a turd, but guess what? It's still a turd, homie. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of excuse me. We got the hiccups. That's kind of seems like what they're trying to do with MAGA, the MAGA movement right now. He's trying to whitewash it a little bit of how terrible it is. Killian says, JD being labeled anti-MAGA is a psyop for his pivot. I agree with you on that. Conservative Party will abandon Trump by the end of 2026. We've been calling this exact thing on the channel. It's a survival tactic for 2028. We talk about this exact same thing on the show all the time. So 100% agree with you on that one. JD timed a baby for the midterms. Family man. Yes, he did. All right, a couple more. Ryan says, Peter Thiel, JD, you're losing in the culture war. Get on Rogan and have a dialogue now. JD, hold my White Claw. Peter Thiel, I'm watching from Argentina. Yeah, there's pretty much all of that going on at once. Katie says, Vance suffers from the same thing Kamal did. Fake laugh. Yes, right? Changes personalities depending on who they're talking to. Yep. People are sick of the fake theater kid shit. Folks aren't buying it. This is a great point, and it's to Katie's point. This is exactly why people don't like Gavin Newsom. This is why people don't like Kamala Harris. This is why people don't like J.D. Vance, because they are not authentic, just like Katie's saying here. You can tell they're fake. You can tell, just like she said, whoever they're talking to, their opinions change, right? And I have a lot more respect for people who I might not agree with them, but that's their values, morals, and ideologies, and you know what you're going to get, and they don't pivot from that, and I might not agree with you, than I do for a guy like JD who's just like, hey, cool kids, what are we talking about today? I agree with whatever you're saying on the show. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're on board there. Okay. Real quick, I need to put this in the pinned comment here. I'm going to talk about something. Let's pull that down real quick. All right, here. All right, I want to put this up here. All right, real quick, guys. This is not a paid ad or anything like that. I want to talk about a local charity, a local nonprofit that, I'm trying to help out, and they are called Second Chance Ranch here in Oregon. This will just take a minute, guys. So stick with me. All right. Second Chance Ranch. Now, what they do, they're a local nonprofit, and what they do, you guys know, obviously, look around. I'm a huge animal buff. I'm really into rescuing animals, and that's exactly what Second Chance Ranch does. Okay. They not only rescue animals, as you can see here, here's their newest horse that have horses, dogs, cats that obviously have had that come from abusive situations. And not only do that, but they also work with homeless veterans with PTSD to also match together these animals that have been rescued to also help with, PTSD and things like that. So, and drug recovery. And so they're doing something really cool, which is not only helping, homeless veterans and veterans with their issues, but also helping out animals as well. Okay. So if you guys are willing to, here is their newest horse, Honey, that they're trying to raise money for to be able to take care of. And you can see, sadly, these animals, here's Honey right here, they're beat up, right? But they finally got a new good place to be here at the ranch, right? So if you guys are willing to, a couple dollars or whatever, willing to donate, links in the pinned comment. There's different ways you can donate, buy some merch. I would really appreciate it. All right. It's an awesome nonprofit right here in Oregon, right here locally. And it means a lot to me, right? You guys know that. So again, link in the pinned comment. If you guys are willing to, donate $5 or anything like that, I would be very appreciative of it. Okay. So, all right, we'll get back to it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me on that. They're doing really, really cool stuff here locally. Okay. And again, we'll have the link in the description, pinned comment if you want to, donate and help out. All right, let's keep it moving. Again, not an advertisement, nothing paid. Just, I really, really like what they're doing. and I'm passionate, as you guys can see. Everywhere you look, all Nate has is just animals everywhere on his body. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. That was a little bit happier. Let's get into some stuff that's not happy, which of course is, if you guys didn't see today, they had the first vote here. Thomas Massey posted this. The House will soon take 2 votes that will compromise our sovereignty by merging our military technology and supply chains with Israel. Today's vote on HRES 1438 brings the NDAA to the floor without a vote on striking Section 219, which is in the Senate. And tomorrow's vote is to pass the NDAA. Now, so we saw this today. This just happened today. Unfortunately, the rule passed just now, and no debate or vote was allowed on Section 19. So think about this, guys. Not only are they trying to merge our militaries, they are not even allowing it to be debated on. They're not even allowing the Congress to debate on it. It's nope, can't fucking say a word about it. You're going to shove it in front of it, and you guys are going to vote on it. The NDAA will receive a recorded vote tomorrow with Section 219 in it. That is tomorrow. We will find out tomorrow if we are going to merge our fucking militaries with a foreign country. Our Congress is going to vote to merge our militaries with a foreign country, and they are not even allowed to debate on the bill. Treason. Literally, I'm not going to say it on my channel because you guys know I could get in a lot of trouble for saying how I feel. Every single Republican, and it's all Republicans who are voting yes on this, by the way. Democrats are voting no. Democrats are the ones who've held the line to try to stop this. So, crazy, but how do I feel? Obviously, guys, it just makes me so mad hearing about this. Every single Republican congressman who votes yes on that, I think you guys know what I think should happen to him. And it's a lot worse than being reprimanded or anything like that. Absolute treason. And they're going to vote on it tomorrow, guys. And it's probably going through. It's almost certainly going through. And here's the thing. We have this. Democrats, say what you want about Democrats. They're holding the lines here. They're also moving towards voting to end aid to our greatest ally as well. Republicans are not moving whatsoever. Now, isn't it interesting? Thomas Massey talked about this. That Trump speech we all watched together about how China is interfering with our elections. Well, what about this? What is this? We're worried about China with our elections, but we're going to merge our military and intelligence apparatuses with a foreign country? What are we doing here? And at the same time, you've got a battle. We'll get to it. Mamdani has made it very clear he was going to arrest Bibi. Sorry, Bibi, if you're in the chat, but you better stay out of New York. And then Trump has come out and said, absolutely not. That will not happen. He's not going to allow it to happen. And he posted this. Okay. Donald says Bibi Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form on the United States of America. He's fighting against the Islamic Republic of Iran. Well, no, he's not, Trump. No, he's not. Israel's not. Remember the Israel minister who literally just said they have no interest in fighting the war in Iran? Don't know why you're saying this, because they're literally not. Which recently unalived 52,000 innocent protesters. Yeah, sure they did. And spent the last 47 years killing American soldiers. Okay. All right. Okay. That's the president of the United States, everybody. As again, our Congress is about to merge the militaries with could you imagine could you imagine the founding fathers right now? The founding fathers. If George Washington, Thomas Jefferson could come back and see right now, and we're like, hey, by the way, guys, there's another country that literally blackmails and controls all of our government, and we're going to merge our militaries with them, and we're going to pay for all their shit. How do you guys feel about that? They're turning in their graves. The founding fathers are turning in their fucking graves right now at how obnoxious this is. We've never seen anything like this. It's not even like, again, I don't know how, it's not even getting any news. Mainstream media is not even talking about it. Of course not. Why would they? They're not even allowed it to be debated on the floors of Congress. So that's rough. Okay. So obviously, I'm sure tomorrow, based off of that vote, I will cover that story for you guys in a video. I imagine it's going to fucking pass. And what does that even mean? You say goodbye to American sovereignty. That's gone forever. It's going to be almost impossible to undo that. It's going to take years and years and years to undo that. Once they entrench that into the Pentagon system, the way they're going to do it, it's going to be almost impossible to undo it. The can of worms. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, let's the economy. We got to jump into the economy next because there's a lot going on. All right. Let's hit a couple super chats though, just a few, and then we'll jump straight into the economy. We're going to talk about The Odyssey, actually. Love the Odyssey movie, despite casting controversy and historical inaccuracies. It's a great film, and MAGA backlash isn't hurting its box office. We're going to talk about exactly that. So we'll wait. Thank you, Metal. What do you think of the rhetoric that Canada doesn't take care of their forests? Most Americans refuse to understand that it's logistically impossible. Neither does Oregon. Come to Oregon. Our entire state is forest, and this mother effer burns down all the time. It's very difficult to take care of thousands and thousands of miles of forest, right? So that's dumb as shit. I'm sure they do the best they can. Our greatest ally is the greatest threat to the world. We need those solutions for those problems. All right, I'm not gonna get too deep into that one because we're on YouTube. I think JD Delay, just kidding. JD Vance has proved that he's unable to unite the country, united in hating him. But hey, that's something. That's a great point. That's a great point. All right, one more. I was shocked that Rogan never fact-checked JD on the perplexity once, yet that when Theo talks politics on Rogan, he fact-checks Theo all the time. Well, yeah, because he's just there to glaze him and wash his balls, dude. He's not there to actually do anything beneficial, right? He's not there to push back at all. That is it. That was a PR stunt for JD Vance and the Trump administration on Joe Rogan's platform. That's all it was, which is sad, right? Because feels like Joe Rogan, could be such a force for good with that platform. And like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? But whatever, it is what it is. I don't dislike Joe Rogan. I really don't. But I don't understand why. I don't understand what he's doing, right? Isn't he supposed to be the based guy? Like he was a Bernie bro. And now we're just like giant cuck for the administration. I don't get it. I personally don't get it, guys. Again, I'm not trying to, pass judgment or beat him up too much because I don't dislike the guy. I don't dislike his content, but I'm just really bizarrely confused at what is happening with him recently. All right, good graces with Matt if he shares the 7K. Matt Tardio. Yeah. Again, we're good, right? We don't agree on anything, but you don't have to still be friendly with people. Thank you, BB, newest member of the channel, friend of the show. If they really cared, they'd run those boys on peptides and not test on their Mossad op. Are you talking about the soldiers? They should be on peptides. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, we got to get into the economy. Okay. All right. Let's jump into it. All right. This is some big hot ticket items. This has been one Donald Trump is bragging about all week this week, and he says, "Great news, America! The Democrat caused inflation is way down from what it had been. And we will bring it down still further." Now, this is interesting, right? The Democrat inflation. Yes, this is all Democrat inflation, Biden inflation. Well, the problem is, I know Donald Trump counts on his true social base of just not understanding anything and they'll just believe anything. The problem is if you know anything about the economy, which I do, you can just look at things, right? This is all, you can look up anything you want. There's 100 different types of inflation you can look at. Okay. This is our standard inflation rate. This is what Donald Trump is bragging about. Now, this is the last year from June to June. Donald Trump is bragging that inflation came down month over month from May from 4.2 to 3.5. Now, if we actually look at the chart, is this 3.5 impressive? Oh, it turns out, no, it's fucking not. So where did the inflation come from? Because if we go back to June of 2025, Donald Trump was in office. Now, also, let me remind you that the day Donald Trump took office, inflation under Joe Biden was 2.7%. Okay. So he inherited a 2.7% inflation rate. And that stayed pretty standard. Actually, went up a little bit, dropped down. This is month over month. And then down here, before the war started, we're down at 2.4%. And then it skyrockets and it's going to go back up. Now, keep in mind, June was because we had that big lull, right? The MOU, the ceasefire, oil prices were coming down. So month over month inflation looked like it was going to come down. That's all gone. We're going to go right back up. So the idea that this is Democrat caused inflation here, how? Inflation was down at 2.4% in fucking February. How did Democrats cause this? Can you guys explain this to me? How did Democrats cause this inflation rate? Anyway, they didn't, right? That's my point. It's Donald Trump just lying again. And no, having inflation again is going to go straight back up now that we're back to full scale war. But also, I don't know if you guys saw this one. This is some other stuff that's happening. Did you guys see this? I got to get your take because I don't even know what this is supposed to mean. Donald Trump posted this 2 days ago. It says, wonderful news. I've just been informed that the Giant Eagle, a great American grocery company, will be lowering prices by a lot across more than 300 products this summer through Labor Day to help hardworking American families. Giant Eagle, like Walmart, is stepping up in a big and bold way to answer the call at lowering costs. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. What is Giant Eagle? What is this? What is Giant Eagle? I've never heard of this. Is this like a grocery chain in the East Coast or something I don't know about? Have you guys ever even heard of this? I've never seen a Giant Eagle grocery store in my life, and I've traveled all over the entire country. What do you guys know? Do you have a Giant Eagles next to you? Never heard of it? So again, Giant Eagle, I guess, is bringing prices down. It's on the East Coast, but nobody else is, I guess. Again, just a bizarre thing from the president. And here we go. This is just today, as of 10 hours ago. U.S. gas prices are back up over an average of $4 a gallon as the United States and Iran launch attacks. And here's the actual numbers here of what gas is looking like. And again, we're going straight back up. And I'm about to sneeze, guys. I can feel it building. You ever get that where you're about to sneeze and then you don't sneeze? Okay, sorry. It's just going to hold on me. All right, most expensive. California's average is $5.50 a gallon. The national average up over $4 a gallon. The cheapest anywhere you can find is still $3.4 in Indiana. The cheapest anywhere is over $3 a gallon. And that's going to, again, now that we know the war's not ending, Strait of Hormuz remains closed. Potentially the Strait of Indab gets closed. Back up we go, boys. Back up we go. Yay, great. Now, this factors into it. We've talked about this on the show. This factors in greatly because, and this is as of a day ago, says the Patriotic Blonde. She's got a great channel, by the way. If you're not already following her, you should. Crude oil only has 43 days of supply left in the U.S., the lowest inventory in 45 years. So here you go. This is back down here at how many barrels do we have? I believe it's like 133. No way we got. I think it's like 133 million. But anyway, you can see we will be able to maybe like slowly limit this, but if this happens, prices are going to skyrocket, right? Because we're releasing strategic oil reserves constantly to try to keep gas prices down, but at some point we're going to run out of those. At some point we're going to run out of it, and we're not that far away. So that's going to skyrocket gas. But the second we have to stop or cut down the amount of strategic oil that we're releasing, gas is going straight through the roof, guys. Straight through the roof. But don't worry. Donald Trump is announcing this. Have you guys seen this? White House is launching dozens of Freedom Fuel gas stations. Now, if this sounds like communism to you, well, it's because it is. But when it's communism under Trump, it's all good. It says, and the company White House video posted, White House, multiple customers tout the new gas stations as helping them save money. One man said he was very happy about cheaper fuel. Now, what they're doing is this is government-controlled and released gasoline from the strategic oil reserves. That is the government controlling the means of production for natural resources, aka actual communism. You know, the thing that they're fucking terrified of? MAGA, Fox News, Trump, communism. Ooh, communism. Ooh, Mamdani, Hassan Piker. Ooh. That's actual fucking communism. That is the government seizing control of natural energy production. What are we doing? MAGA. Hey, what are we doing? That's actual communism. And they love it. They're like, fuck yes. I love communism as long as it's got a red hat on it. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, it's rough. It's a rough watch. Okay, now let's talk about more fraud, waste, and abuse. That is Pete Hegseth begging for more money.
You know what that means? That means 1.5 trillion. Given the world that we live in and the disaster of what the Biden administration budgets gave us, not funding this department at 1.5 trillion, I believe, is the greatest threat that our nation faces. Either we invest in our warriors at this moment of step change on the battlefield and growing threats, or this is all just talk. You know what that means.
Okay, so let's break this down. Pete Hegseth says we have to raise the Pentagon's military budget to $1.5 trillion, or we won't be able to have a military. 1.5 trillion. You know what's interesting? And again, I just like to actually look at things like this. 1.5 trillion. And again, I was in the military. I know how much money we fucking waste. It's about 90% of it. Let's look at actual defense budgets, right? I think this is important for us to look at. Let's look at them. Okay, these are defense budgets of other countries. This is the current U.S., of course, we're number one, at $954 billion. We want to take 50% and add that, right? So we want to add another $500 billion, okay, just for us to be able to function. However, you're telling me we can't function with $1 trillion a year, but China, the next most powerful military in the world, with a navy way bigger than ours, they do this off $336 billion a year. You're telling me we need 5 times the money that the Chinese military needs? And next goes Russia is only 190. That's almost 10 times that. Germany 114. I mean, where's Iran? Where do we got to go? Iran's probably down here in the like 8 to 10s. Iran, look at Iran. We're fighting a war against Iran and losing, by the way. And their annual defense budget is $7.4 billion. And they're asking for 180 times that. Pete Hegseth, you can't fucking win a war against a country with a $7 billion annual defense budget, and you want us to increase ours by 50%? I'm sorry, homie, but the military hasn't been able to demonstrate that money is going anywhere that is leading to strategic success. And again, I'm all about supporting the military and the troops, but $1.5 trillion? What? No, dude, no. Nah, bro. Why? So you can go lose a war to fucking a country with, again, a $7 billion defense budget? You haven't earned it, right? This is the way I look at Hegseth as a Secretary of War. You haven't earned or showed why we should give you more money. You have 120 times the budget of Iran already, and you can't win that war. Why would we give you any more money? Right? This is like, guys, if somebody was to come over and build a deck for you in your backyard, right? And they came over and you spent $10,000, you gave it to them, and they installed like 3 posts, and they were shittily done. And then they're like, hey, look, I'm going to need another 10 G's to like maybe get this to work. What would you say? You would say, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck off my property. I'm not giving you another dime because you're worthless. That's what you would say. And again, the Hegseth, you want another $500 billion a year for what? For what? I don't know what the money's for. And again, I want to support the troops, but goddamn, we just lost a war to Iran. We're losing a war to Iran. I'm not giving you any more money. Sorry, Pete. And we got this. And again, we're in the economy. Now, the reason why we're talking about this, because that $500 billion a year could be spent on what? Other things in America. Infrastructure, healthcare, education. I don't know, things that might help the American people instead of, oh, we need $500 billion to drop more bombs on brown people. No, thank you. No, thank you. And they'll call you a socialist, by the way. If you say what I just said, you're a socialist, right? If you'd rather your American taxpayer dollars that you pay go to helping Americans instead of bombing brown people, you're a socialist. Don't forget about that. That's what they'll all tell you, right? Now, speaking of bailouts and socialism, check this out. The House is going to pass a $12 billion bailout for farmers suffering from high fuel, high fertilizer prices caused by the Iran war, expensive equipment and parts caused by the tariffs, and lower sales prices for commodities due to trade disputes with China. Oh, and Thomas Massey says, but the GOP is fighting communism. I'll tell you this. I do think this is a good idea, right? I do want our farmers to be bailed out. This is like we have to. But the fact is, why the fuck did we put our farmers in this position to begin with? Donald Trump hosed our farmers. He's destroyed farming and ranching. And now you're going to use taxpayer dollars, communism essentially, to redistribute wealth and money to the farmers to pay them off because you destroyed their farms. The government, right? Again, we need to take care of our farmers, but hey, why'd you fuck our farmers to begin with, guy? Maybe don't do that. Again, bailouts, right? Screw over the entire agriculture demographic and then bail them out afterwards. Cause the problem, spend more taxpayer dollars fixing the problem. Spend taxpayer dollars causing the problem, aka the war in Iran, and then spend more taxpayer dollars trying to fix the problem. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But they're going to complain about socialism, the same people, right? Here's another one. It's like, can this guy just not have the worst take ever every single time? Here he is talking about how good data centers are. Donald Trump says one of the biggest driving factors in the future for jobs are data centers. They are big, strong, bold, and money machines for the state in which they're built. Governor Kathy Hochul, for political reasons, has terminated all data centers being built in New York. These companies are now being sought in Alabama, Florida, yada, yada, yada. All this income and other benefits will be going to red states and some blue, where data centers are sought as cash cows with lower taxes, setting record jobs. This fucking guy is cucking for data centers, man. Data centers, really? And the great point, they don't gain money. They don't gain money. They are a net loss. They cost money. They destroy the environment. But of course, Donald Trump, data centers are good. Big and beautiful data centers, baby. Flat cameras, baby. Just the worst. It's the worst take every single time. Every single time, it's the worst take from this guy, from MAGA. I don't know how they can't, you can't get a single win ever. All right, speaking of which, not our economy, but it is relevant. You guys remember Argentina? Remember when we gave them $40 billion a year ago, right? And we put this guy in charge, Javier Milei, or whatever the hell his name is, Benjamin Netanyahu's fucking cousin or nephew. Elon says, prosperity is headed for Argentina. Don't tread on me flag. Yes. Remember all this? Capitalism. You guys want to see how things are going after Argentina shut down the evil socialism? You want to see how things are going for Argentina after a year? Okay, here's the value of their fucking peso. It's worth literally nothing. Literally nothing. Argentina is cooked. Their economy doesn't exist anymore. So, well done. Well done, guys. Yeah. Your peso has lost 99.59% of its value. So there you go. Good job. Yes. Good job. Well done. Right. Again, that was supposed to be Argentina was supposed to be MAGA. We put MAGA, Argentina MAGA. And there they go. Destroyed the economy. Shocker. Just like they're doing here. Here's some more stuff. Here's some more places we just send our money. Why not? as Thomas Massey says here. The United States sends $2 billion a year to the Kingdom of Jordan. Their king has spent $100 million on luxury properties in Malibu, D.C., and London. I offered an amendment to end their welfare. Thank the 5 who voted with me. Look at this. Thomas Massey put up an amendment to remove $2 billion of funding to the Kingdom of Jordan, and only 5 people voted yes. 5 people. That was it. Just 5 senators. Or, excuse me, congressmen. Just 5. Only 5. And all of Congress were like, no, we're not going to send billions of dollars to Jordan. Everybody else was like, nope, we're sending it. Your taxpayer dollars. You see it? You see how this is? It's all of them. It's fucking all of them. They're all bought and paid for by foreign interests. Our entire Congress. All of them. From different countries. It's not just all our greatest ally, but they're all bought and paid for. The second you try to cut off the funding to these countries, our congressmen refuse to do it. It's our taxpayer dollars, our tax dollars. And you know why they do this? Because then those foreign countries then donate the money back to them through PACs, like APAC, for their campaigns and things like that. It's a giant money churn. They take taxpayer dollars from us, send it to foreign countries. Those foreign countries use that same taxpayer money to buy off our politicians in a big cyclical money wash. That's it. That's the system. Like in a nutshell, it's a giant fucking grift. They just fleece the American people. That's it. That's all it is. That's politics now. How can we fleece the American people and the American taxpayer? And check this out. This is even crazier. This just dropped like an hour before I did the show or got the show ready. Check this out. Trump administration is pausing $1 billion in Medicaid payments to California and Minnesota. And I'm not going to listen to RFK. But check this out. Now, the reason why he's doing this is to try to combat Gavin Newsom and Tim Walz. So think about this. Donald Trump is going to shut down Medicaid payments to the citizens of California, the people who need it to get their medical procedures, to give the middle finger to Gavin Newsom. Think about that. How gross is that? How gross is that? The people who live in California and Minnesota, a lot of them probably are Republicans. Sorry, you're fucked. Like, why are we holding Medicaid hostage because we got a political beef? It's disgusting, dude. It's just so, everything is just so gross, man. You know what I mean? I mean, so the times you want to wish that God is real, because he will most certainly punish that. He will most certainly punish that. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. All right, let's talk about one final thing here with the economy. Tariffs. Yes, tariffs, right? Let me move myself out of the way here. Let's see if I can do, that's not what I want. Here, let's do this so you guys can see it. Okay, so it says, Trump claimed his tariffs would bring about a golden age of American manufacturing. Remember that? Except, since his reelection, we've lost 75,000 manufacturing jobs. Over the same period, Biden created this many. Now, I'm not concerned about the Biden numbers because these are massively inflated due to COVID. So we're not concerned with this. This is misleading. However, what is not misleading is Donald Trump. His performance has not brought back American manufacturing. In fact, it has done the opposite, which, of course, it's done the opposite. The tariffs are designed to destroy American manufacturing. But yes, turns out, no, we didn't bring back any manufacturing jobs. We have lost all of them. And yeah, who pays the tariffs? Somebody had that in the comments section. Who pays the tariffs? That's right, we do. Not corporations, right? They pass that right along to us. But yeah, so it turns out, no, tariffs did not work. Luckily, you can't use them anymore because the Supreme Court shut them down for that. But it is what it is. Okay, next. Sorry, still got the hiccups, guys. We're talking about Trump specifically. Woo, we got some weird stuff. Not a huge section on Trump tonight, surprisingly, but we are going to look at some things. So you guys know Trump has a Hollywood star, like everybody else does, right? In where is that at? Beverly Hills? Is that where the Hollywood stars are? His star is struggling, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look. Here's Here's Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Let's take a look at this thing. Yeah. As you can see, it says F ICE. They've put pedo, war criminal. They've completely destroyed it. So, you know, he's not going to be happy about that. He's not going to be happy about that. Looking rough. Looking rough. LA has said, no, thank you. No, thank you. Now, we told you we were going to talk about the Odyssey tonight, which we are going to do, but we're not going to get to that yet. But I do want to show you this video. I haven't watched this yet, but JD DeLay, our friend JD DeLay, actual friend of the show, sent me this. Said, you're going to want this for your show tonight, all right? So let's watch this one together. It's a Trump Odyssey remake, okay? So here we go. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully JD didn't give me anything that's going to get me in trouble. Okay, that was good. That was good. All right, I get it. I didn't know it was coming. The Trojan horse. Donald Trump being a Trojan horse for our greatest ally. Clever. So again, I hadn't watched that before before we decided to do it. I trusted JD wasn't going to send me anything that would get me in trouble. So that's funny. There you go. We got a little Odyssey meme mixed in tonight. All right. This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. So you guys know in Japan, the P word, you know, adult content is all censored, right? They censor it even for the actual content that you watch. Well, Donald Trump is triggering Japanese adult content algorithms. So here you go. So yes, Japan's adult content censoring AI keeps automatically pixelating Donald Trump's neck whenever he performs on TV or appears on TV. So this is absolutely hilarious. So yeah, that's I mean, it does actually make sense. It looks exactly like what they're censoring, but just thought that was hilarious. Here's another one. Donald Trump wanted to be involved so bad in Spain winning. And for those who don't know, Spain absolutely hates Donald Trump. They hate MAGA. They hate his guts. And here was him trying to celebrate with the team as the FIFA forcing him out of here. So the FIFA director trying to get him off the stage. Now, that was funny on its own. But what's even funnier, guys, is Spain photoshopped Donald Trump out of their official picture. So look at this. So this is the official picture where Donald Trump was standing right here. And literally, you can see he was right next to the guy in the blue shorts. And then Spain used AI to digitally remove him from the photo. Ouch, dude. You know that's bad. When they said, no, thank you. No, thank you. We do not want you in the picture of our FIFA World Championship. So yeah, they literally photoshopped him out of their pictures and videos. So absolutely hilarious. All right, last one. Again, not much on Trumpelstiltskin tonight, but there's his buddy Mike Lindell has now been endorsed, the pillow guy, the My Pillow guy. He's endorsed in for Minnesota governor. So we'll have to see how that one goes. I didn't know the My Pillow guy was in politics, right? But apparently the My Pillow guy is running for governor. Not sure what his qualifications are. Besides making a good pillow. I don't know. I've never used the pillow, so I don't even know if it's a good pillow. Maybe you guys have tried it and you know. Let's see what we got. I got JD text me. Dan from Heavy Duty Country text me. I always like to. JD's always got some good ones. All right, we might put those up. All right, I just got to see if we got anything funny coming in. Okay. Let's do a couple super chats. Then we are going to jump into what the influencers are talking about because, man, yeah, it's not great. Then we're going to get into the Republicans, Democrats, and keep it moving. All right, couple super chats, and then we will keep going. Ryan says, everyone don't forget to thank at JD Delay for his service. Absolutely true. You know, Marine Corps veteran doesn't like to talk about it. We love JD Delay and his service to the nation. So make sure to tell him that in his chat when he goes live. Real American Nomad says, abuses women, brags about abusing slaves in Dubai, sends them to JD's forestry equipment, and makes a list of all the people who sent them money in public. Who's this? I don't know what we're talking about. We need more context on that one. Didi says, seems like we're currently doing shaping operations around Bandar Abbas, took down some maritime radars, creating a buffer zone attempt to open the strait. I mean, yeah, we can try. But all it takes is one drone to hit a oil tanker, and it just stops everything, right? So we'll see. He looks like a Saint Row character. Trump and Tate should be a couple. Thank you. What the hell is a man doing with a bobby pond, aka Airplane One? I don't. What's a bobby pond? What's a bobby pond, chat? I don't know what that is. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Didi says they've 100% covered up the numbers. They covered up the first self-exploding jihads when it first happened. Oh, we know that now. We do know that now. The reporting has come out. It looks like there's been close to probably 500 U.S. casualties. Not deaths necessarily, guys. Although I do think there's more deaths than they've let on. But also casualties, you know, disfigurements, maiming, amputees, like all these things that are also casualties of war that they have 100% hidden from us. That's pretty much confirmed now. Him bragging about only 18 casualties, deaths, 18 deaths. Keep in mind, guys. So let me break this down too, because this might be important for obviously the veterans all understand what I'm talking about. For the non-veterans, the civilians in the chat, when we talk about casualties, okay, casualties of war, casualties is all encompassing deaths and injuries. All right. So when you hear 18 casualties, no, there's probably like 500 plus casualties with 18 plus deaths. Okay. So when you see that word casualties, doesn't necessarily mean killed in action. It's killed or wounded in action, right? Could be either one. But deaths do fall under casualties as well. So just for the non-vets in the chat. So you guys, when you see those words, you kind of understand them a little bit better. All right, couple more. Someone willing to die can't be beat into submission. That's true. Thank you. Trump family are a bunch of cowards. None have served. None. Literally none. You can't find a single Trump anyone from back to his grandpa all the way down that's ever served. It's pretty rough. All right, last one. The blonde blow-up doll of an assistant has been reported to be the one writing or encouraging the crazy tweets. Yeah, what's her name? The mistress? God, what the one that's in love with him that talks about how she's his secret wife? She's rough. She's rough. I thought Venezuela was a law enforcement operation. No, that was a war. It was a war, apparently. All right, last one. Bobby says the military buildup of Iran's ground forces towards Kuwait and the disruption from the Houthis in the Red Sea choke points makes me think this is going to be a hell of a lot worse. Yeah, great point, Bobby. Iran is also now saying that they're going to put boots on the ground in Kuwait and go destroy American military bases. Now, are they going to have the balls to do that? I don't know. I would assume no, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? But to Bobby's point, yeah, a lot of escalation here. God, I'm getting my hair and beard trimmed tomorrow, guys. Gets too long, it starts getting in my nose. That's what's making me sneeze almost. Okay, let's jump back in, guys. Let's jump back in. Okay, prep yourself. Sorry, I'm going to give some context to this because I don't agree with this at all, but it's going to be on my show. And that is Benny Johnson. Yes, Benny Johnson. I don't know if I've ever seen anything this racist before in my entire life, but he thought this was a good idea to say on his show. So again, to the YouTube algorithm, I am criticizing this. I disagree with this. I think it's apparent and disgusting, but is Benny Johnson saying it? So let's take a look.
I want a name. Okay, I need a name of a single black woman that had something to do with America's founding. Go. I mean,
he says, I want a name of a single black woman that helped America's founding.
I can think of didn't Thomas Jefferson have like half his family with,
I don't know, like Harriet Tubman. There's like a lot of, famous black women that helped during, freeing slaves and things like that, just off the top of my head. But it's Benny.
Out of wedlock with the slaves, I think. Isn't that historic? Anyway.
So Benny Johnson just said that black women did nothing to help the founding of this country other than being R''d by Thomas Jefferson. That's what Benny Johnson just said on his show. Okay, if you want to feel that way, that's fine. But that's a crazy, crazy racist thing to say. Like, just also gross. Also, majority of them were enslaved. So, you know, I would say, I don't know. There's just things that for me personally, even if they were my opinion, which that definitely is not, I just would keep to myself. I probably wouldn't say that publicly. That the only thing Black women during that time frame did was get R''d by their slave owners. So doesn't also look good for our founding fathers when you talk about stuff like that, right? Anyway, that's his. He thought that was a good idea to make that as a point. Pretty bizarre. Let's get some other terrible takes from terrible people. Here's Mark Levine talking about our army.
And we need some boots on the ground. If it means a victory, you got to do it. And when I say that, for some reason, Mark Levin, I become a bad person.
Well, you're not. And if you're going to announce in advance that we're never going to use them, the enemy will attack us. They have a lot of boots on the ground. It's just so absurd. And these isolationists, most of them are very ignorant. You don't send in troops just to send in troops. And these people who keep saying no boots on the ground, no boots on the ground, they're the ones who are going to get us into World War III.
So Mark Levine says, I'm ignorant. People who are saying no boots on the ground. I'm ignorant. Even though Mark Levine's never served in the military. Mark Levine's never gone and fight a war himself. But he wants to put boots on the ground. You heard him. You got to do it. We got to put boots on the ground. We got to sacrifice American lives for this war in Iran. Everybody else who says that is just ignorant. And you guys are going to cause World War III. That's the shit they feed people on Fox News all day long, guys. They feed people that on Fox News all day long. MAGA is now calling for a full-scale ground invasion. You guys know that, right? Which is probably going to happen. Why would it not? This is just how this goes. They're going to hit a break point where eventually there's going to be some type of false flag. And we have to put boots on the ground. We got to finish the job. Have you guys noticed this new finish the job turn? Finish the job. If you go to any of these MAGA Instagram posts or Twitter posts, cheering on the war, that's all they say. Finish the job. Finish the job. What the fuck does that mean? Finish what job? What's the job? What's the end state look like? What's the strategic intent? Finish what job? Opening the Strait of Hormuz? Changing the regime? Slaughtering everyone? Like, what is the job? What job are we finished? You know what I mean? You just keep seeing that. Most of them are bots, right? They're bots that just spam that stuff. It's just, this one would make more sense. But you see this all the time. This finish the job. All right. And talking about MAGA dorks, this is the king of the MAGA dorks. Brinley Handjob, or whatever his name is. All right, let's just watch it together. This is Harry Sisson, Democrat influencer, talking about, I don't know, he wants to fight people. And Brinley Hollyhan decided to weigh in on this. Of all people, if I was him, I would have kept my mouth shut. But here we go.
I've suggested to people before in interviews, I'm like, I want to fight them. I think
fight them?
Yeah. Like if Stephen Miller would agree, or one of the Trump children, or like anybody in the administration, I want to fight them.
God, you know what? That
I do too, by the way. So just saying. But anyway.
Go weird. 2 years ago last week, they shot Trump in a field in Butler, Pennsylvania. And 10 months ago, they executed my friend Charlie Kirk just because he had an opinion that
He's not Charlie Kirk's friend, by the way. This kid's 19.
Disagreed with. You see, they can't debate, and they don't have good policies or good candidates. They have to say gross stuff like this, like they're going to beat you up just because they disagree with their political opinion. No, they're going to fake shock and outrage and send us their thoughts and prayers when one of their crazies goes out and shoots or kills one of our conservatives. But they say stuff like this to inspire their crazies to go out. It's not some radical fringe on the...
All right, let's stop that. Here's the deal. Look, Brinley, people want to fight you because you got a punchable face. I'm just going to say it, okay? You look like a kid that's getting swirlies and getting stuffed in lockers. All right? And let's just say this. Harry Sisson, regardless of what you think about him, would beat the brakes off of your little dork ass, Brinley. Okay? So just, if people are calling people out, grown men, here's the thing. It's called brand risk. It's an entire thing on the internet where grown men will call out other grown men in the social media space that are pissing each other off to throw hands. This is what men have done. It's called, there's what's called mutual combat exists as a law in Texas and a lot of other states where if two men don't like each other, we can agree to go get in a ring and fight each other. That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal male behavior. Actually, that's the type of male behavior you would expect rather than trying to like talk shit online like a little punk bitch like you see, which is why I typically don't do that. Right? So, no, you should just keep your little dork mouth shut. Or someone like me who's a conservative, Brinley, right? I'm not on the left, so you wouldn't be able to do, they're so mean with the even little, they're going to attack and violence. Someone like me who's a conservative is going to call your little dork ass out to go get in the ring. And then what are you going to say? You're not going to have the excuse that the left is violent. No, it's going to be someone on the right that's saying, get your little dork butt in there. Let's see what you can do. All right? So you should calm down. You need to just stay out of the conversation, okay, when it comes to grown men deciding to maybe solve their problems through mutual combat, Brinley. You need to exit stage left and not say a word about that, okay? You're not the guy for that, bud, okay? You're a little child. And you would get beat up by literally every single Democrat influencer on the internet, okay? So just chill, dude. Now, speaking of things almost coming to blows, so this is wild. Apparently, this hasn't come out yet, but if you haven't seen this, as a highlight reel. So Nick Fuentes and Hunter Biden had a debate. 2026 is absolutely wild. Here we go.
Greatest strength. Diversity has been our greatest strength. White people do feel like we are being boxed out. A 26-year-old white kid doesn't feel like he has access because he's been canceled, and the problem is black people. I didn't say the problem is black people. Well, you just did, Nick. You just said the problem is crime, and we know who's doing the crime in Chicago. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. About the Holocaust thing? Oh, about that. We get to say whatever we want on the internet. We get to deny the... As far as Jews are concerned in general, I think that everybody in the country should be treated with dignity and respect and have their civil rights. What do you think about somebody like Mamdani? Personally, I don't like him. Like, for example, on 4th of July, when he takes the opportunity to sit there with, let's be honest, not a single white person. What about fucking Donald Trump? There's no ideological core to Donald Trump. No, I agree with you. Don Jr. got the largest loan ever given by the Department of Defense. Vance owes his entire political career to Peter Thiel, whichever firm is the one to develop ASI.
All right. So that's going to be all over the place. I'm going to have to watch that. I can't not watch Hunter Biden v. Fuentes. That's going to be all over the place. Apparently they almost got in a fist fight during that interview, according to what people are saying. So it'd probably be a good one to watch, to be honest. All right, let's talk about the Odyssey, okay? Let's talk about the Odyssey. Now, let's ask you guys first. If you guys saw it, I have not seen it yet. I do want to go see it. I am a huge history buff and things like that. I love Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Norse mythology, things like that. I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to go see it. I'm very excited to go see it. Now, I don't know what the deal is. The MAGA was just furious about this movie before it came out. So first thing I'm going to ask you is, did you see the Odyssey? I don't know how to spell Odyssey yet, actually. How the hell do you spell Odyssey? Well, Sorry, guys. That's going to be misspelled, but whatever. Did you guys see it? Okay. Did you see it? That's the first thing I want to know with the poll. And then we're going to talk about, I don't understand why MAGA is so mad about this movie. It's weird, but this is what MAGA was saying before the movie came out, right? Also, Christopher Nolan's fantastic. He's got amazing movies, right? So this is what MAGA was saying. Christopher Nolan has canceled all screenings of The Odyssey with movie influencers. He is only allowing approved critics to see it in advance. He is waving the surrender flag. They know they have a financial disaster on their hands. Elon Musk chimes in, how pathetic. So apparently the Odyssey was going to bomb, right? It was going to bomb. Well, turns out, no, MAGA did not bomb. As you can see here, the Odyssey has officially opened with a $264 million opening weekend, the biggest opening for a live-action movie in 2026, second biggest opening ever for a Christopher Nolan film, third biggest opening ever for a rated R film. This movie is absolutely fucking crushing the box office. Now, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment on it, but it didn't it didn't turn out to bomb. There's no bombing. So again, I don't really know why everybody was so upset about this movie. I've heard it wasn't historically accurate, and which is, to me, I know MAGA can't read. Sorry. The Odyssey is fiction. It's a fiction story. It's not historically accurate. It's not a nonfiction story. So when directors take creative liberties with a fictional story, that's usually okay because it's fiction. So I'm not sure why we're so upset that the fiction movie wasn't accurate to the previous fiction story. Like it's going to be okay, right? It's going to be okay. Didn't have, like somebody said, didn't have Greeks in it. So fucking what? It's an American movie. What? And again, it's not a historically accurate movie. Who cares? Like, again, it's so weird. It's so weird what you guys are getting up. Not you guys. It's so weird what they're getting, what people get upset about with the movies, right? Anyway, I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the reviews have been everywhere from it's the worst movie that's ever been made to it's Christopher Nolan's finest film ever. I'm sure it's probably neither of those. I'm probably somewhere in the middle would be my guess. Would be in the middle, I guess. But again, I haven't seen it yet. I am going to go see it. But financially, no. Financially, it's absolutely crushing the box office. So there's that. Let's see here. Where was I at? Okay, let's get to the MAGA. So we all know that, sadly, Lady G passed away, and we talked about this on last week's show, that his sister was somehow given the seat because we're in a monarchy, I guess. And guess what? She's announced that she's going to just do a full term. So here we go.
You have a week?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And by that time, the funerals won't even have taken place.
I know.
And then the president's putting an ask on you, we'll put it that way. It's a lot of pressure.
It is a tremendous amount of pressure.
Tell me what's going through your head about it. Where do you stand now?
I'll continue to say I've been praying a lot, talking to my family, but with the love of my family, with the support of his staff. I know I'm a hard worker. I learned that from Lindsay. He cared about the people of this state. I've worked for almost 30 years for the people of this state.
I want to talk about that in a minute.
I feel like I can do it.
What? What? We're talking about a U.S. Senate seat, right? We're not talking about being the CEO of TPUSA, right? A job that obviously doesn't take any resume or skill. I mean, we see that, right? Look who they put in charge of that. We're talking about a Senate seat. And she's like, well, I work really hard and I'm Lindsey Graham's sister, so I plan on being a senator. What? What are we talking about? What are we doing here? But we know what she's going to vote for, right? She's going to vote the way she's told to vote by MAGA. She's Lindsey Graham's sister. It's insane. This is insane. Nothing like, what are we doing? Like a senator passes away and we just throw their sibling in there and we're like, yeah, good. They work hard. It's fine. It's fine. What? Again, it's one thing if you want to do this with, a nonprofit like TPUSA, put somebody's when somebody passes away, you just throw their wife or sibling in there and say, good luck, you're good. But a Senate seat? No. It's like we're not doing this, but we are doing this. We are doing this apparently. This guy's, if you haven't seen this clip, from what I forget this congressman's name, MAGA congressman. This is going viral. This is basically talking about the SAVE Act and why you need government ID and all these things. Look at his reasoning here.
Think about something like Save America, which is at the heart of democracy. Just saying, show picture ID to vote. For God's sake, you can't go get pasta at Olive Garden without a picture ID. Why not be able to show a picture ID to vote? The franchise of American democracy, and the Senate can't get 60 votes to move it.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to debunk this one. Olive Garden, you're going to learn something about Nate today. Olive Garden is my favorite restaurant. My wife hates it. It's me and my daughter's favorite place. Me and my daughter will go to Olive Garden by ourselves without the family. That's how much we like Olive Garden. And let me tell you this. I've been to Olive Garden hundreds of times, multiple hundreds of times. I have never once been carded for ID when ordering my pasta. And I get pasta every single time. Not once have they asked me for my government issued ID for pasta. So no, that's not a great comparison. Also, guys, we talked about it so many times on the show. We talked about it with the boys last week on Friday. What do Republicans not understand about a poll tax? They don't. It's in the Constitution. You cannot make people pay to vote. And by saying you have to have a government issued ID that costs money from the DMV to go vote, that is a poll tax. All you got to do is make government issued IDs free, and it's no longer a poll tax. But they just refuse to do it. And then they keep trying to push forward an unconstitutional bill over and over, and their own party is going, no, you're not voting for something that's unconstitutional. Stop it. I don't have a problem with requiring ID to vote. I don't. I'm supportive of that. But give away fucking IDs for free then. Why am I paying the government? Let's think about this. Let's break this down. Why are we paying the government for an ID that they're forcing us to have to begin with? What? I'm required to have it, but you're going to make me pay for it and you're the government? Nah, dude. No, I don't think so. So very easy fix, but they'll never do it. And I want to know is why won't they do it? Why won't Republicans do that? They won't even mention it. It makes me feel like they don't actually want the bill to pass. Maybe because they can't all be that dumb. They know the unconstitutionality of the Save America Act. That's why Republican senators are voting against it. And they're refusing to do it. And not only that, it is voter suppression. What I'm calling for, me personally, two things. If you want the Save America Act passed, you got to add two things to the bill. One, government issue ID are free for all citizens. Two, Election Day is a national holiday. Why? Because a lot of people can't afford to take off work on voting day. They'd like to vote, but they literally, if they don't show up to work that day, they might not make fucking rent. And so Election Day has to be a federal holiday. Why would it not be? If you want people to show up to the polls and vote, isn't that what you guys want? then give them free IDs and make it a federal holiday. Boom. You're good. Pretty much everybody would be fine with that, but they won't do it. They refuse to do it. And so for me, I'm just of the point where it's like, hey, until you're going to make the fucking bill, sorry for the language, constitutional, shut up. Because the fix is right there for you, and you refuse to do it, right? So that's, again, these are just basics of the Constitution. And if you, as an actual conservative constitutionalist, I actually believe in the Constitution. Shocking. I know that the Republican Party has thrown that out the window. But some of us are just like, yeah, okay, you need to follow the Constitution, please. But they don't want to do that. So that's where they're at with that. You know what I mean? Anyway, here's one. I don't know if this is true or not. Just reporting on it. If it turns out to be true, this is going to be, it's going to be bad. And that is reports that allegedly, according to the Wall Street Journal, Representative Anna Paulina Luna allegedly tipped off DC Drano about Trump's JD Vance pick, leading him to placing winning bets on Polymarket. So, hey, this is crazy illegal. This kid should do, not kid, I mean, he's a fucking idiot. He should be brought in. He should be investigated. What are we doing here? If this turns out to be true, again, I don't know if this is true or not. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. But if this turns out to be true, you mean there was a sitting congresswoman who was giving insider information to a social media influencer so he could make bets on Polymarket with that information? Although at the same time, the Department of Justice is trying to go after a Green Beret who decided to place a Polymarket bet on himself that the Maduro raid was going to be successful. He's the only one that they've gone after. They haven't gone after Pelosi, Trump, Barron, Anna Paulina Luna, DC Drano. They're all good. They're all good for corruption and insider trading. But when a Green Beret decides to bet on himself that a mission's going to be successful, bring him down. Bring him down, boys. Full might of the FBI's coming for you, right? Isn't it interesting how that works? Isn't that interesting how that works, guys? Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Here's one that just because the guy's gross. If you didn't know, Ted Cruz said this a couple days ago. He says, as Christians, we have a biblical obligation to support the modern state of Israel. And here's what my response to that. What are you talking about, dude? What? I've read the Bible multiple times. I haven't seen the part in it where it says I'm required to support Netanyahu's government. I'm not sure what Proverbs that's in, but yeah, no. That dude's also a traitor. Here's another one, not going well. And this is kind of interesting thing here, guys. I'm sure you guys probably seen the story. I'm not going to play the clip because I don't even want it to read out what they're saying. But yeah, if you guys didn't see this, Tulsi Gabbard's brother has been arrested for allegedly trying to lure children as young as 9 years old into his hotel room with gum, money, and invitations. Okay. That was all over the internet the last couple of days. Now, that's allegedly, I don't know. I will say this. I am a little bit suspicious about Tulsi Gabbard stepping down last month. And then all of a sudden, barely a month later, her brother is arrested for pedo activities. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It kind of makes me feel like she might have known about that, and he might have been caught and arrested, and they decided, hey, you need to step down now before this shit breaks, and you're still part of the Trump administration, right? Because now she's like, MAGA or Trump can be like, well, she's not a part of the administration. Had she been the current DNI when this broke, oh my. So I do kind of have a feeling that may be the reason why Tulsi actually left her position. I don't know for sure. But yeah, the timeline, where's Baron Coleman, right? We need a timeline, right? I'm not the timeline guy, but when you got a timeline, that's a pretty weird timeline, right? Tulsi steps down because her husband has cancer, and then right after that, turns out her brother is caught trying to lure 9-year-old children into a hotel. I don't know, guys. And actually, what we're going to do here, that is going to be the next poll. The next poll we're going to do. Did you see the Odyssey? Most of you didn't. Not yet. All right. Let's see. Why did Tulsi quit? We got husband's cancer. Brother is a pedo. Trump fired her. All right, there we go. The first two was kind of what we thought. I thought for sure Trump had fired her because he hates her. Now I'm not so sure. So let me know what you guys think now that we have that information and that story's come out. Okay, here's another one from the Trump administration. Tom Honan. People are pretty riled up about this. Let's listen to this.
Guys, ICE agents are mom and dads too. They don't hang their heart on a hook every day to do this job. And it's just not an attack on the ICE agents, it's an attack on their spouses and children. And no one knows that better than me. I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why? Because I'm enforcing laws in this country. It's pathetic and it's disgusting. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, so we are crashing out saying that ICE agents aren't being treated fairly. Okay. Well, here's the deal, Tom. Here's the deal. If you want people to stop threatening you and your agents, maybe stop having your agents murder people in the streets. Because we're not seeing that behavior with our regular police officers. We're not seeing that behavior towards our regular sheriff's department. We're not seeing that behavior towards law enforcement that we respect. They're not being treated that way. They're not, so why is it just ICE? Why is it just ICE officers that, aren't being treated fairly, according to you, Mr. Homan? Yeah, and it's maybe because you keep fucking murdering people. Just thinking, just off the top of my head, seems like a pretty easy way to understand why people are so pissed off about your organization. Now, I'm not condoning violence against ICE agents at all. I'm just saying, don't be shocked when the American people start being fucking furious at ICE based off of what they're doing. Right? And I'm sorry, I'm not about to feel sad for the agents that, shot some dude in the face in his car in an intersection. Like, I don't feel bad for the guy, the officer who did that. I'm not going to. Sorry. Is that crazy? Am I being crazy here? But again, that is such a bullshit reasoning by him of, got to respect the law enforcement. People do respect law enforcement. The good ones that are doing their job correctly, our police and sheriffs, our federal marshals, like nobody's got a problem with these people because they're actually trained and they actually do their job. But that's not what we're seeing with ICE. And that's why everybody's so goddamn pissed off about it. Left, right, and center, by the way. It's not just Democrats that are pissed off about ICE. Plenty of right-leaning people are sick of it too, Okay, now let's jump into we'll do a couple super chats. We're going to jump into Democrats, guys. There's some this is my favorite section of the night because there's some wild stuff going on with the Democrat Party and Democrat candidates. Good and bad. All right, couple super chats before we do that. Kevin says, hats off to the United States Marshal Service for exposing Andrew Tate, the most evil bottom the bathhouse has ever seen. Yikes. I did, you know what? I do have a buddy that's, I'm not going to talk about it. He's in the federal marshals pretty high up. I actually need to shoot him a phone call to see if I can get some insider information on what happened with that. Let's keep moving. Thank you, brother. Joe says the sacrifice of the service members for the Constitution. No, it's for the corruption of the current administration and establishment. Just saying. Yes, Yes, it is. In the military industrial complex. All of that. Thank you, Joe. Dee says, I'm willing to bet some of the deaths are from blast injuries, and the Trump admin is fuzzing the causes of deaths because they sometimes don't present outwardly. Families should ask for autopsies. This is an interesting take. This is an interesting take for sure. And that's obviously what a ton or the vast majority of these wounded in action casualties are as well, that they're not showing us, obviously. Thank you, Dee. They didn't sacrifice. They were sacrificed. Yeah. It's sad. I hate it, guys. I, as a veteran myself and combat veteran, I've had way too many friends and teammates that we've lost to watch young men and women fucking losing their lives over this dumb fucking war that nobody wants. Really, really irks me. And it really bothers me that a lot of veterans in the space who are like cheering for this war, it doesn't bother them. And I really don't like that. I really don't like that. But anyway, Kevin says, you're good now. That's effed. They got us into this mess with no interest in this war they started. WTF, bro. Yeah. And there's no end in sight, brother. No end in sight. All right. Bobby says, we need flags of protection stat. Yeah, we did earlier, huh? We did. You guys I'm sure you guys were on it. Thank you very much, Bobby. Yeah, they shut me down again. Yeah, you guys were all over it. I think again, that one wasn't me. I tell you guys when it was me, right? I'm always honest. If I mess up something, I'm sure going to tell you. That one was pretty weird. I got some error messages I've never seen. Been watching Jesse for 4 years. For you, almost 2. Love the community you guys built. Honor to be a part of it. Thank you all for what you do, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm hanging out. I get to see Jesse and Dan from Heavy Duty Country and all the boys this weekend in person for my birthday. So I'm stoked. Lisa, thank you for this. No comment. And then last one, we're gonna jump back into the show. Puppet says on the Tate vote, I will go for option 3. It's theater, smoke and mirrors, a sideshow SpongeBob. Yeah, that was pretty bombus. No, not Texas. We'll be in Vegas. We'll be in Vegas. But I am coming into Texas here pretty soon this summer. I'm going to try to come out here maybe late August. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know when I'm coming out there for everybody that's out there. We could do like I know a ton of the viewers are out there. I want to do like a meet and greet, like a hangout, probably in the Austin area, and get like Jesse's there, Dan from Heavy Duty Country's there, a bunch of the boys are all out there. So we're gonna try to do that sometime later this summer if we can. All right, and then do it at like a venue or something. We all can hang out and should be cool. Okay, let's jump back into the show. All right, here we go. Now this race is and I love that. God, this is so hilarious. They calling her APAC lady. I don't even know her name. Nobody even talks about her name. She's just known as the APAC lady. She's going omega viral right now. This race is going viral, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, currently it looks like Abdul holds a 70% favorable rating. APAC lady holds a 54% favorable rating, and it looks like he is leading in the polls right now. Now, you may recognize APAC lady from a viral skit. Not a skit. This was actually her campaign speech this week, where everybody made fun of her for sounding like Chris Farley. So let's take a watch of this.
I am going to be working on our behalf. I am going to be telling the stories on our behalf. And you better believe I'm going to be doing it with a little bit of joy, a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of energy, and a little bit of stick it to them. Because that's the Michigan way.
Is it just me?
Okay. That's APAC lady, right? She's it's like a van down by the river. That's right. Yeah, everybody immediately was like, that's Chris Farley, right? Now, why are they calling her APAC lady? Okay, what's her name? Haley Stevens. This is why they're calling her APAC lady, because she's hitting historic numbers here. Okay, so as you see here, Haley Stevens' latest pro-Israel total is $20,225,000. So yeah, she's the actual greatest ally, as you can see. Now, this race is interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, for sure. Right. Oh my God, insane. So that's why they call her the APAC lady. She doesn't have a real name. Now, the race is kind of interesting because here's who she's running against, and they're trying to smear him, of course, because, he's a Muslim. But the other reason why is because he makes a lot of money. So it says here, Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Said apparently earns nearly $700,000. I'm assuming his annual income is $700,000 while pushing socialist policies. Keep his money, distribute yours. So again, this is the hit piece that MAGA is doing. Now, I want to talk about this because I think this is interesting. Because they're saying, well, he makes a lot of money, but he's pushing socialist policies. So he is a hypocrite, right? He's a hypocrite. Now, I actually disagree with that. I think that's the complete opposite way to look at this. I actually think that people who are wealthy and make a lot of money who advocate for socialism, even though I don't agree with the ideology, I actually think that they're the most authentic. And the reason why is most rich people don't want anything to do with socialist policies because they want to keep all their fucking money. They want those low taxes, baby, right? So they're like hardcore corporate oligarchy capitalist types because they make a lot of money. They don't want to give their money away. So when a guy who makes a lot of money advocates for policies that are going to make him pay a lot of his money as well, I'm like, okay, this guy has skin in the game. He's going to be the most affected by this, and he actually wants these policies. I actually give credit to that. Now, I don't agree with it policy-wise, but I do think, yeah, the people who are rich who advocate for socialism, they're going to give away way more of their money through those policies, right? So if he was a hardcore capitalist, it was, then it would be like, okay, this makes sense, right? So again, not something I agree with, but for Republicans to try to attack him, or even other mainstream Democrats to try to attack him because I believe he's a doctor, correct me if I'm wrong, because he's a doctor that makes good money and he likes socialist policies. I don't know, man. It's not really, I don't think you guys are making the point you think you are making when you're attacking him for that, right? But again, not that I agree with the policies, but I think somebody like that, hey, at least he's putting his money where his mouth is, as they say. Okay, next, this is probably the 2028 presidential candidate that I didn't really know much about, but he is skyrocketing in the polls on the Democrat side, and he is quickly becoming a fan favorite for 2028, and that is Jon Ossoff. And we're going to watch a clip of his here, and we got a few clips of his here. I don't think we played any of his stuff on the show, but I got to tell you, the more I'm watching him, the more I kind of get it. I see why people are liking him, and I see why he is skyrocketing in the polls. Let's watch a few of these.
The twist in the story. There's this beautiful little island off the Albanian coast called Sazan, and Jared Kushner wants it. So he took his Saudi billions and he decided he and Ivanka would buy the island and build a luxury resort. And then, like clockwork, just a few weeks after Trump wins a second term in the White House, Albania's prime minister grants Jared's company strategic investor status. So permitting and approvals are expedited to help the American prince develop his new island. Now, this island is an Albanian national treasure, some of the last pristine coastline in the Mediterranean. Its waters were a national marine park protected from development until Albania changed the law to let Jared Kushner build his resort. And it turns out, Savannah, that ordinary Albanians are not fans of this arrangement. There are right now massive national anti-corruption protests, like tens of thousands of people in the streets of the capital, Tirana. They're calling it the Flamingo Revolution, all sparked by opposition to Jared Kushner's land deal.
Okay, so I like that. I like he's willing to talk about this. Now, I will say, unfortunately, it seems like every single time we've got a good candidate who's saying the right things, what do we see at the same time? And we unfortunately see this. Jon Ossoff, who has taken nearly $1 million in AIPAC money. Womp, 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 womp. Every time. Now, hey, maybe he's going to have an epiphany and give back all the money and become anti-greatest ally. I don't know. But It just seems every single time. Every single time. Now, let's watch another clip from him, though. Because I do like him, but again, not if he's going to be a shill for a foreign country.
Answer the question. We can keep doing this.
Well, we're going to keep doing it because you're not being honest and
No,
forthright.
I'm
with
not
the
going to
committee.
engage in the theater.
It's a simple question, Mr. Clayton.
And I've answered
Who
it.
won the 2020 presidential election?
I've answered it.
You're here asking for the support of senators to lead America's intelligence community. We've established that you have an obligation to be honest and forthright with this committee and with the American public, but you refuse to answer a simple matter of fact about the 2020 election. Is that right?
No, that's not right.
Then answer the question. Who won the
I have
2020 election?
I have answered the question.
Answer it. What is your answer?
I've given you my answer.
What is your answer? You refuse to answer a basic question about who won a presidential election,
No,
but you asked to lead America's intelligence community? Isn't it humiliating to be unable to answer this question?
Oof.
To have to indulge the president's delusions?
Oof.
We know, you know, everybody in this room knows the truthful answer to that question. Why can you not give it?
I think I gave you the answer.
Did the president?
He cooks. All right. I'm telling you, he cooks. So I get it. I understand why people like him. Just God, we just can't get. He's kind of like a Thomas Massey, but again, there's $1 million from AIPAC. And it's so frustrating, right? Like we finally get a good one or somebody you're like, yeah, okay, this guy, he's saying the right things. And then you go over to track AIPAC and you're like, oh shit. Okay, there we go. So again, yeah, that's the problem is James Talarico's, Joan Ossoff's, they're saying all the right things. But when I see that big old dollar sign next to your name on red and track AIPAC, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. All right, but there's a lot of people in the Democrat Party starting to position themselves for president. And here's the other front runner as she is moving also up the ranks as she's giving she started to give some presidential style speeches here.
Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends. And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life.
All right. Here's another one. Whoops. There we go.
Democrats in the House won our largest majority since Watergate in 2018. 185 Democratic candidates of all backgrounds, rural and urban, progressive and moderate, ran by not taking a dime in corporate money. It's not naive. It's how we win, Detroit. And it's not just how you win a primary, it's how you win a general election. We can't be in cahoots with the same money that is oppressing us.
I kind of like her message there. I think she got a pretty good message there. In corporate lobbying, that's something I've been calling for. But I don't know. We'll see. I think AOC is going to be a lot more of a front runner than I think people realize. I think the people who think she's just a throwaway candidate in 2028, she's too young, she's progressive. I think you're going to be surprised. I think she could very, very easily end up becoming the Democrats' primary choice. Now, feel how you want about that. I mean, she's not my personal choice, but I'm just saying from the party's perspective, I think it's a lot more likely that AOC could end up at the top of that dog pile once we get into it. And you know, she got the green APAC tracker score, right? So now, where's the other money come from? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of not so sure about that, but I think there's a lot higher chance than people think that she could potentially do it. A lot better chance than Kamala Harris. Let's do that. Because guys, Democrats are still trying to push Kamala Harris as their choice. I see it all the time. Like the mainstream establishment Democrats want Kamala Harris to be the choice. So let's do a poll. This is unfortunately going to be one where you get no none option because you would all choose none. So I'm going to force it on you. There is no none option. Now, this is for everybody. If you had to choose, you know, no options here. You got to choose one. Who would you choose between Kamala Harris and AOC? Because that's sort of where the party is at right now. They're not sure, Democrat Party, who they want, right? Progressives lean towards or want AOC. Corporate establishment wants Kamala. Again, I know a lot of you would like to say none, but there is no none, right? This gives us some of you, it might be a lesser of two evils. That's fine. All right, but let's keep moving. Now, we got to talk, speaking of which, presidential candidates, this guy who was the front runner, he is burning in. Yes, Gavin Newsom becomes less and less and less popular as time goes on in the Democrat Party. This was a few weeks ago, but it says Gavin Newsom has crashed to an all-time low in the 2028 presidential odds. He's even lower than that now. People really don't like Gavin. They really don't like Gavin. It's kind of interesting. I would, oh my God. So we were talking to, side note, guys, sorry for that. I just got a text from Jake Shields because he's coming to my birthday here with all the guys. He says he's going to bring Tim Kennedy to the party. So that should be a great guest list. Anyway, I digress. Hope it's a joke. Anyway, all right, let's keep moving. Now, Gavin Newsom burning in, not doing well. Okay, not doing well. And then you got the Democrat who, man, he's causing a lot of waves. Mamdani, yes, Mamdani. Well, he's causing a lot of waves because he said he's going to arrest Bibi if he shows up in New York. Let's take a look.
To visit New York for the UN General Assembly. You pledged during your campaign and after you won to order his arrest to comply with the International Criminal Court warrant. What will happen if he comes in September?
Okay, I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu belongs in The Hague.
Wow.
He's a war criminal who has been charged by the International Criminal Court. And what you will find is that is an opinion that is held by many purely because of what his actions have wrought over these last many years. I've also said that I will follow the laws that we have here in New York City because I believe that there's an importance in following the law as a leader who presides over our city, and that's something that I plan to do.
Israel's prime.
Okay. Based? What? Yes? Duh? Please do. I'll be honest, guys. I know people were supposed to hate Mamdani because he's an Islamic socialist. I'm going to just tell you guys up front. I like the guy. I mean, I do. I'm sorry. Like, not that I agree with all his policies, but man, he sure says a lot of stuff that I'm like, hell yeah, brother. You know what I mean? What other politician's got the balls to say shit like that right now? What other politician is out there like, yeah, I'll fucking arrest his ass if he shows up in my state? None of them. None of them have the balls to say anything like that. He's out there doing it. I got to give him credit. I got to give him credit for that. I mean, he's got fucking balls of steel, man. And so I kind of like the guy. The more I see him, Yeah, he's tough. He's tough not to like. I'm telling you, he's tough not to like. Now, somebody said talk is cheap. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But at least he's saying it out of his mouth. The other politicians are trying to merge our militaries together. Right? That's what Republicans are trying to do. So you're telling me I'm supposed to hate Mamdani while Republicans are trying to merge our militaries with a foreign military? I don't know, guys. I mean, at some point. And not only that, it's Democrats who are voting to block that. So I'm watching things right now going, why are the Democrats the ones trying to save the country? Republicans, what's happening here? But as far as we can see, there ain't no Republican who's voting against that. There ain't no Republican who's out there saying stuff like that. None, zero. Besides Thomas Massey, that's it, right? So again, think what you want about him, but the more I see him, the more I'm like, kind of like this guy. All right, the poll, 90% of you said AOC, 10% said Kamala Harris. Now, that's my point, right, is establishment Democrats are trying to push Kamala as the candidate for 2026. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Democrats hate Kamala Harris. Republicans hate Kamala Harris. At least with AOC, you get someone young, energetic. She's very well liked by much of the Democrat Party. Why would you not choose her over Kamala? It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. Why would you try to make Kamala Harris a choice at all? She will never win. She lost to Donald Trump. Losing to Donald Trump, you're cooked. Nobody wants you. Go. Get out of here. Right? So, trunk versus trucker. That's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. But anyway. All right. Let me get back to where I was. Where was it? Oh, then you got this guy. You got this guy. I don't know if we could even, we're in the Democrat section. I don't even know if you can call him a Democrat, but he is like, let me back that up. I did say Democrats are the ones trying to stop all this. There is Fetterman. Okay. He is the one Democrat who's voting with Republicans on all this stuff. So let's see what he has to say.
I'm always going to proudly stand with Israel. I think it's fantastic to keep killing Hamas leadership. I think it's fantastic. Same for Hezbollah. I've always expressed my dismay the way the Democratic Party continues to turn their back on Israel. So I've said that publicly, like that's my red line. If Democratic Party becomes official anti-Israel, then that's when I would force me out.
Yeah, and because there was that vote yesterday in the House, a majority of Democrats voted to cut off all aid to Israel. Is that a red line for you?
Yeah, well, it's unsurprising. But that vote just confirms what I've always seen coming in the Democratic Party for a while. I'm always going to proudly stand with Israel.
There you go. Okay, that's enough of that. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, God. What a disaster he is, huh? Oh, my God. He's a one-termer, right? He's got to. I wonder what his approval rating is. I wonder if we could look that up. Could we look up what John Fetterman's approval rating in his own state is in his own party? Let's see if anybody's monitoring that. 46%. That's a lot higher than I thought. But that's probably all Republicans. It's probably all Republicans, to be honest, that are supporting him now. So that would be my bet. I bet if we could get that party by party, it's Republicans who support him and it's Democrats who don't like him anymore. Because he's pretty much he's like a Trump supporting Republican. He's basically MAGA, which is crazy. Yeah, so he said it took massive brain damage to make Fetterman MAGA. This is technically true. He did have a stroke and then he immediately switched sides. I mean, think what you want about that, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay. All right. Excuse me. All right. We are 2.5 hours in. That got us to the end of our regular scheduled show. Let me give a few announcements before you guys that don't stay for the super chats take off. This Friday, no live stream, at least, well, maybe. No, I don't know. We'll find out because it's my birthday. I'll be out of town with all the homies. However, we will be back Tuesday. God, I'm about to sneeze again. Tuesday, we got a special show. Okay, we're going to be doing a follow-up to an episode Tucker Carlson is putting out Monday with Elizabeth Lane. Okay, she's going on to talk about the deep state, their involvement potentially in unaliving Charlie Kirk, and then she's going to be on my show the very next day. Okay, right after she's on Tucker. So that should be a really cool show. Okay, so Tuesday, we might swap the shows next week. Okay, Tuesday might be like Friday style show, and we'll probably move Tuesday show to Friday. Does that make sense? Okay. And then again, if you guys, one final reminder, if you're feeling generous and you'd like to donate to a really good cause, again, Second Chance Ranch here locally in Oregon, they are rescuing animals, horses, dogs, all sorts of animals, and then again helping with homeless veterans and veterans with PTSD as well. So please, if you're feeling generous, you can go to the link in the pinned comment, help them. They're funding their new horse Honey here right now. I would appreciate it, guys. Okay, it's a really good cause. And then yes, let's see what else we got. I think we got one more, but I forget what it is right now. Okay, we got a lot of new guests coming on. We're going to be doing a lot more collaborative shows. Okay, like we had last Friday with the boys. We're probably going to do that show a lot more frequently. Okay, so me, Aaron Love, Ben Pappas, Jake Swig, we're planning on pretty regularly getting together on the Friday night show, and we're not going to just do all military. Okay, we're going to do whatever like the big topics of the week are, and we'll do a panel together and go through them like a regular Friday show, but we'll have the boys on. So that'll probably become a pretty regular thing. All right. So if you guys enjoyed that show, having a bunch of retired special operators talking about all the shit going on in the world, that's what we're planning on doing, a lot more of that on the Friday shows. Okay. So be on the lookout for that going forward. And yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much. Again, the links are in the pinned comment in the description if you're feeling generous for the charity. And let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's talk about Penta just sent me one. Happy birthday, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much, Penta. Guys, let me should we try to do a show Saturday with all the boys in person? We will have Dan from Heavy Duty Country, Jesse on Fire, Jake Shields, Aaron Love. We'll all be together in person for my birthday. Friday, we won't be able to do it because it's my actual birthday. We should try to do it Saturday, right? The problem is, I think I don't drink anymore, and I know I'm going to get pretty blasted on Friday. So let's see if I can keep it together and not be too hungover. Let's see if we can launch. I'll talk to the boy. We'll all be together and do and maybe do a show together. I can't promise it. Okay, I can't promise it, but we'll try to do it. We'll try to do some type of show together, all of us, because we'll all be together. Okay, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out. Maybe I'll just bring my camera, computer, and we could actually just do the show that way. Okay, so yeah, all right, there we go. That's the final announcement. Thank you guys so much for. Yeah, I need guys. Well, again, I've it's my birthday, right? So I'll definitely be drinking on my birthday. But okay, let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's do the super chats. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'll talk to the boys. We'll see if we can figure it out. It's gonna be a pretty busy weekend, but we might be able to do like an hour or two show together while everybody's out there. All right, let's do it. Let's jump into the supers and get this thing going because I'm hungry right now for some reason. I actually ate a pretty decent lunch. Anyway, all right. Iran equals 8th in the world for college-educated citizens. 8th in the world. There you go. Extremely well-educated country. A lot of people don't realize that. Thank you, Father, for the new membership. Elvado says, with Australia. Ooh, I like that. Recently, I went to a funeral for a friend, and the finality of things didn't hit me until I saw the coffin. Civilians and U.S. forces are going to lose their lives for what? Families broken, people dead. Nothing is achieved. Yeah, it does hit you hard. Especially, it's people you're close to, and especially when you start going to a lot of them, which unfortunately most veterans have had to go to, Mimi says, excuse me. Sorry, guys, I need to drink some water. All right. Been talking for almost 3 hours straight. We need to go to the streets like the 60s and 70s. We don't really do this anymore, right? Actual protests. Prolonged protests. I mean, every once in a while they do the No Kings protest once every 5 months or 4 months, but not the way we used to. Not like during Vietnam, right? Vietnam, that was everywhere across the country. Thank you, Mimi. Ricky says America is the same dumb shit the English Empire did. is doing the same dumb shit the English Empire did just before it collapsed concerning actions since I'm from an allied country. 100%, right? We are in what stage? There's 7 stages to the collapse of an empire, and I believe we're in stage 6 or entering stage 6, which stage 6, I believe, is no longer being the world's reserve currency. And once that happens, most empires collapse in stage 5. So America's already past the average collapse point, and we're getting very, very close to no longer being the world's currency with China and BRICS and everything that's happening. So it's getting pretty scary. To your point, I'm with you on that. Kevin, thank you, brother. Very generous tonight. Says, got it. We're going to merge our military so this won't be the last conflict they bring us into, and say they don't want to get involved 3 months later. Also, let me explain a little bit too. I think I've explained it on the show before. Really why they're doing this is because they know that funding to that country has become extremely polarizing and unpopular with the American people. Congressmen know that. And so what they're trying to do is they're going to be able to say, we've cut off all funding to our greatest ally, but at the same time, now we're actually funding them through the Pentagon budget, which nobody's ever going to see because the Pentagon's failed, 7, 8 audits in a row now. And so that way the American government can fund everything that BB wants, and nobody will have any idea how much money is being spent. So that's the main reason why they're trying to do this. Right? So again, it's a disaster. It's an abject disaster. Watch out for J.D. Vance's memoir called Hillbilly Elegy 2, Teal Made Me Do It. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how he ever tries to separate himself from that. He just keeps his mouth shut about it right now, and pretends that none of it's happening, right? Nobody knows about his Peter Thiel connections, although we do. So it'd be interesting to see if he ever addresses that. Malaysia just became the 110th country. I didn't know that. Interesting. Oh, Bays, what's up, Bays? All right, friends. Oh, by the way, me and Bays are going to do a show together here pretty soon too. Next couple weeks, we're going to do one together. They're merging intelligence so our intelligence can gain access to all the data they have on American citizens. This is another big part of it too. Even Google Waze data gets stored over there. The sad reality is that a lot of the damage is already done, and they know it. God bless you, bud. This is from the intelligence side. This is a huge one too. What Bays just said, absolutely 100% true. Great, yay! Now they'll have access to literally all of your data and everything about you. So that's what Americans really, really want, huh? Jeff says this could be really bad. I hate seeing what America is turning into. I'm with you, Jeff. I think we all do. And like, they're just brazenly doing it right in front of our faces. I mean, this NDAA is so crazy. It's so crazy. It's the craziest thing in American politics I've ever seen. And they're just going to pass it without even having a debate on it on the House floor. It's insane, guys. Kiwi says, OMG, Ben Shapiro makes me want to vomit. Me too. Iran has the most female engineers of any country. So I'll say Arabs are dumb, but still say they did. You know what? Well, they're not dumb, right? Again, Arabs and Persians. First of all, go look at Saudi Arabia. Go look at Dubai. Go look at Kuwait. Go look at the UAE. Look at Qatar. Look at Iran. These places are insanely nice and well-developed and highly technologically advanced, right? You go spend, guys, I've been to Dubai multiple times. Go spend some time in Dubai and then come look at Flint, Michigan, and then try to say that, these people are backwards, and you're going to go, okay, shit. Right. But there's also, they try to conflate everybody together, right? They just call everybody Arabs. Persians, Arabs, Hazarans, everybody's just the same thing over there, right? It's all very, very different cultures, very, very different cultures, and races, ethnicities, actually. Love your channel, I think you meant. Thank you. The Tant Bros are so guilty. The Tant Bros. Oh, Tate Bros are guilty. I see what you're saying. Thank you, brother. Ryan says DJT has printed more fiat in the history of the country. Granted, every president has kicked the can down the road since Wilson, but we've run out of road many times over. This too, right? And we see that's why the national debt and the deficit are skyrocketing under Trump. He's responsible for 30% of all the nation's debt just during his 5.5 years. It's not great. Very conservative, right? Those are very conservative values, economic values. Grand Bear says we're going to be getting fuel ration cards like WW2. We could very easily get there, bro. Very, very easily get there. You could be heavily restricted on the amount of gas you can pull out. That's Pretty likely, actually. But Nate, what about aliens? Yeah, the massive distraction that nobody cares about, it turns out. Deborah says they want more money for war and refuse to support veterans. That's what pisses me off. Great point. 100%. We're literally cutting VA programs right now while they're asking for more money to bomb people. So you got people like Dan Crenshaw out there talking about how, veterans don't deserve disability. Like it's rough out here, homies. Protesting doesn't work. Votes won't work. What's left? We'll find out when people are hungry. So this is a great point. Check out Daniel Davis, good guest on each other's shows. Okay, I will. That sounds familiar. But to his point here, a lot of this is true. All three of these points are true. Protesting doesn't seem to work. Voting doesn't seem to work. And when I told you, people are like, well, what's next? Revolution? And I'm like, no, it's got to get a lot worse before we get there. But once people start starving to death, things change real fast. Things change real fast. Farm subsidies are just a necessity in the modern global economy and how modern farming works. Hate it, but it gets turned into a political football. Yeah, but you could say that, but you know what isn't a modern necessity is, I don't know, shutting down the Strait of Hormuz and eliminating 30% of the world's fertilizer. Is that a necessity that we have to do? Because that's why the farmers are fucked right now. Because they can't get access to any urea or fertilizer, and also diesel, which all of their fucking farming equipment. I know, I live in a farming and ranching community. One of my good buddies that you just watched, Brian, taking those shots on the Charlie Kirk 30 assist test. He has a huge farming and ranching operation. Tells me all about this. So no, it is not a necessity for diesel to be $7 a gallon and for half of the world's fertilizer to be cut off. No, that's not a necessity. Right. Not trying to beat you up, but to just assume like, oh yeah, this is just normal stuff. No, it's not. No, it's not. Absolutely not. Go talk to any farmer and they'll say, fuck no, this isn't normal. Most of that 12B will go to corporate farms. This is also true. This is 100% true. Pretty much all that, great point right here. Pretty much all that money is going to go to corporate farming, not to small and local business farmers. We're not angry enough. We need to stand up already. Like I said, great point earlier. Got to get a whole lot hungrier. Who needs to eat? Aliens. True. Baby net and Yahoo. This is a good one. You don't even need I've never seen this before. I've never seen that that emoji. I think you just drop the net, right? Net and Yahoo. That's a good one. I like that, Kitty. Thank you. I didn't even know you could do that in a super chat. It's funny. You should really do a video expanding on the various military budgets around the world and how much waste is actually going on with ours. Now, that would be a deep dive. That would be a deep dive to explain it all. I could do it if I ever have time to do it. But yeah, I mean, we have a ton of fraud, waste, and abuse in our military. Tons of it. Best government money can buy. Frazzled says, I'm covering Friends with Matt. He had 68 million views on his Kirk investigation. He deleted all the videos, apologized to Erica, admitted he's a what, and relapsed. What? I don't know anything about this. 68 million views on what? On a video? Or like overall? I don't know. I don't know anything about him. So I can't tell you about this. Sorry. That's crazy. States administer Medicaid programs, the feds reimburse, CA or California and Minnesota refuse, the police, the corruption in the system, not fully opposed to that move. Hold on. The feds reimburse. Well, sounds like they're not going to pay him back for it, right? Okay. I'm still trying to figure out what you're saying here. I know it's in relation to. I'll have to come back to that one. I'm sure you're correct. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Tate Bros. Why is Helen of Troy black? Me, I don't know. Why do you Pete women? Oh my god, dude. Whoa. That escalated quickly with Metal Muscles comment there. Wow. Benny would have been a loyalist. Oh yeah, for sure. He is currently. Sorry, I'm at desk. I'm an ex-military, was just doing multiple things. You're all good. We got what you meant. Thank you. The NDA will have a $500 billion for our greatest ally. I wouldn't be shocked, but yeah, they don't need to even tell us about it anymore. Brindley needs to run for Senate to replace Lady G. There you go. He's not old enough, but yeah. Iran is one of the worst countries to try a ground invasion on. Yeah, we've covered this in depth on my show. 100% true. All the ways in our choke points. Yes, there's one way in. Essentially, it's through Herat in Afghanistan, in Western Afghanistan. And yeah, it's not going to happen, guys. I should probably do a whole video on that. I think have I done a whole video on that, guys? I think I've done a deep dive on why a ground invasion wouldn't work. Maybe it's relevant though now that we're talking about doing it. We've talked about it pretty extensively on the show, but I don't know if I've done a dedicated video to that or not. But yeah, you're 100% right. You should do a watch party on here for Hunter versus Fuentes. Oh, when they release it? Yeah, the problem is like with Fuentes, man, I have to make sure I look at whatever the content is ahead of time and make sure what's in it, because that dude will say crazy shit that'll get your social media channel shut down. Okay. Okay, Commander-in-Chief, more like, you know what? I'm not going to read that one. Jesus. Thank you, Jay. How pathetic was Elon when he became a welfare trillionaire? He did. Basically got it through government contracts. Look, I don't want to beat up Elon, but my God, dude. He's not a trillionaire anymore, though. Have you seen that, AJ? I think SpaceX is burning in. Their stock ticker is burning in. I think he's lost like $700 billion. Not lost. I mean, it's all in equities, but yeah, he's not a trillionaire anymore. I think he's only worth like $800 billion now. 800 billion. But yeah. Apparently there are themes of warfare causing PTSD or warriors suffering from it. There are themes. Oh, and on the Odyssey. Yeah. So as far as I know with the story, that's Matt Damon's character. Odysseus it's the story of his, like, dealing with PTSD and trauma and redemption. That's obvious. I know a lot of people are upset about that. That's not what Odysseus's theme is in the actual story in Homer's poem. The actual theme is his hubris after the war. He's so arrogant that he, again, tells the Cyclopses who did it, and then they're, sons of Poseidon. And so they tell Poseidon, and Poseidon obviously spins up the ocean to get him off track. And that's what causes him to take 10 years to get home. It's all his hubris and arrogance. But I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan, which I have no problems with, took the creative control on that and made it more of a story about recovering from PTSD and war, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. But I know people want it to be like perfectly accurate to the original story, but it's like, dude, it's a fictional story. Relax. Have you remembered DJT talked about 1.5 trillion for defense in January? Yep. What if this whole war was just to give his defense buddies more money? Of course it is. Of course it is, because they all get the contracts. Yep. Thank you. Ryan says Brimley versus Sisson should be the next White House UFC card. 100%, dude. Can we get these two to do a brand risk boxing match, please? Just a shame Lady G won't be there for the locker room talk with the president. Oh my God, dude. We need to push this. We need to push a Brinley Holly hand job, Harry Sisson brand risk boxing match. I think they got to do it, guys. I think they got to do it. Joe says, I'm sorry, but if we were down to letting people, albeit family, inherit seats in the Senate, have we actually fallen that far? Really? Yeah, I mean, yes, Joe, because we literally did it. She is sitting in. She's sworn in. They swore in earlier in the week. She is a sitting senator right now. No qualifications. Wasn't voted in. Just happened to be the sister of a senator who passed away. It's wild out here. Favorite menu item at Olive Garden. I get the same thing every single time. I get the spaghetti and meatballs with meat sauce, the salad, and breadsticks. Every time. Every single time. I never delineate from that order. Every time. Hundreds and hundreds of times. It is. I love Olive Garden. It's my place, man. That's my order. Havoc says, looks like the treasonous merge is moving right along. Yep. Shit's wild. Can't believe it. Then just giving Senate seats away. Yep. Do you think the Supreme Court would stop the merge? Ooh, keep up the good work, brother. Havoc out. Oh, I hope so. The problem is we have a conservative majority in the Supreme Court who will probably not want to touch the case. It's treasonably unconstitutional, obviously. It just completely gets rid of our entire sovereignty as a nation. So I would hope the Supreme Court could step in. But again, It's a conservative majority Supreme Court, which, again, I don't understand why that would matter, because conservatism or liberalism has nothing to do with the issue here, but I could see it be one of those things that they don't want to deal with. James, what's up, brother? Says insider trading accountability. It's just like everything else. It's who you know and who you know what. No, I know that's YouTube's very tough on us on the on what we can say here on our super chats. But yeah, obviously, like we talked about, as long as you're a politician or friends with a politician, you're good. If you're a Green Beret, they're coming for you. So not going to allow me to insider trade, unfortunately, and not going to allow any of you to insider trade, but the politicians. Dee Dee says ICE used to be respected because they did targeted missions. Yes, against real bad guys, but then Trump put you-know-who in charge and turned them into goons. Yeah, exactly. But they also used to use them the way they were supposed to be used for, which was to go after, gang-ridden areas, cartels, deal with stuff like that. They don't do any of that anymore. And that's why nobody's like, pretty much everybody's like, I don't support this, right? Like I'm until the fentanyl crisis is stopped, I don't need to see you shooting grandmas in the face outside of a food truck. Sorry. Go deal with the real problem, So they don't want to do, which I get. It's scary. Gangs and the cartels are scary, guys. Think about this, though. You want these ICE agents with 47 days to go fight the cartels? Are you crazy? They're going, I'm not going to go fight the cartels. I got 42 days of training. What are you talking about? I'm going down to try to wrangle up people at Home Depot. That's what ICE says. You know what I mean? If you're an ICE officer, you want to go fight the cartels? No, sir. Not with 42 days training. So they said, no, we're just not going to do it. We're just not even going to do our job. So there you go. Under Trump, my HE guys, the telecom guys are afraid to come to work, and the bad hombres are running from the cities into rural America to hide. Very bad. It's kind of the exact point I was just making. Can you look up ICE reoffenders, PDFs, and KID SA and CSAM or more? Same with the January 6 partners. This is actually starting to be a pretty big problem as well. Yep. Actual ICE officers. Been seeing a lot of that. Honey Badger says, I like that profile picture. I started uploading clips of my shitty COD game play so people have something to laugh at in these trying times. Pull the boys out of every country except the UK and Japan and Australia and sell the bases. Well, though we don't really have bases in I don't think we don't have any of our own bases, do we, in Australia? I think it's just at the time we spent there doing allied work together. Japan's an interesting one because we have a ton of bases in Japan. I lived in Japan for 3 years in Okinawa. Do we need all of them there? No. Is it still strategic for us to maintain bases in places like Okinawa that are, just a 30-minute flight away from Taiwan? Yeah, kind of, right? So there's a strategic way we could do it by downsizing while still keeping military bases in very strategic locations, I think. But overall, we don't need 200 military bases all over the world. Definitely not. We could definitely downsize for sure. Abdul made $700K from a joint return. He and his wife are doctors and sold a house. There you go. That's pretty. If him and his wife are both doctors, $700,000 is not that much. So that makes sense. Also, his opponent has taken $21 million just from AIPAC. So yeah, it's a little silly. Bobby says, are we supposed to believe that China and Russia are meddling in our elections? This is so in our face, but refuse to do anything about it. Vote all incumbents out that are taking foreign money. Well, there's so many jokes of this. There's one, it's got all the U.S. presidents kissing the wall, but they have like the Chinese farmer hat on, and it talks about like China mingling in our elections. Look, does China and Russia, and do they try to mingle in our elections? Maybe. Do I think they put that much effort into it? Probably not. Do I know a specific country that absolutely does at a rate probably 1,000 times every other country? Yes. And we all know who that is, right? So until I see Donald Trump talking about that problem, I'm not interested. Hop Whisperer says, did you see the psycho backstory of the ICE officers that unalived the guy in Maine? I did. He's got a horrible back history of abuse, child abuse, domestic violence. Yeah. It's gross. Not surprising. Also, how they're hiring people like that. Like they know those people have these records and they're still hiring people like that. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, ladies and gentlemen. Ossoff doesn't take AIPAC money anymore. Hasn't for a while. That's good to know. Okay. He could be, if he's going to have to, I'd say you got to pay it back, homie. You got to pay your 900,000 back. Pay it back. All right. If you pay it all back, I'll probably support you, dude. If you put your AIPAC tracker back to green, you'll probably get even somebody like me to support you. But until then, I don't think so. I don't think so. AOC is just another puppet like all of them. Politics is bread and circuses. And in my opinion, Ron Paul was the only one calling out the real problem. Love Ron Paul. I think he's probably the greatest American politician in our since JFK, for sure. And yeah, I agree with you. They're all here. They're all going to let you down. If you're a big AOC fan, she's most likely going to let you down, right? Once she gets into office, because this is just what they do. Sadly, just what they do. All of them. I mean, look at Tulsi Gabbard. Great example, right? We're like, oh, she's going to do a great job. She's super against the war in Iran. And then she's selling you like no war with Iran t-shirts. And then the war on war starts. And she comes out on Twitter and it's like, I support the president with his decisions in Iran. And you go, oh, okay. Okay. You're fucking all the same. You're all the same. You know, none of you are good, turns out. Bobby says, I would love to see AOC, Kamala, Newsom debate just for the entertainment value. Of course. Hey, they will. Bobby, they're going to be. That'll be the primaries, buddy. You're going to have AOC, Newsom, Kamala probably. We'll see if Kamala decides to run or not. Hill Dog, we might even get Hillary up there, guys. We might get Hillary. We might get Hillary back. We'll see. She might want to try for it. I don't know. Munchkin 28. This is one we actually could support for sure. Could support for sure. Munchkin has been grumpy lately, guys. The new kitty, Mochi, she is great so far, but she's super excited. She loves our Rottweiler and the new kitty are great friends, but Munchkin is not happy. She is pouting and she refuses to go into the living room. She's basically just sleeps on the stairs. So Munchkin's pretty pouty right now about the new kitty. It's not mean to the new kitty, but she's throwing a temper tantrum a little bit about it. You know, hopefully they become friends eventually. They've been doing better. Okay, but it's a work in progress. I got to get Munchkin out here. That's what I need to start doing. What I'll probably start doing is bringing Munchkin out to the studio for when I do the shows, so she doesn't have to hide from the kitty. If Mom Donnie actually arrests Mr. Milikowski, that would be an insta win for 2028. F it. Yeah, I mean, if he actually did that, I'm gonna be like, yep, thumbs up. I support this guy. Mom Donnie's my guy. That's my guy. If he actually did this, I mean, yeah, sorry. I don't care if he's a communist or not. Then he's gonna have support. I'm gonna have a Mom Donnie t-shirt on. I'm gonna have a Mom Donnie t-shirt on the day after that. I'll tell you that much. Notice how politicians never say what my constituents want. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Fett didn't have a stroke, had an implant. I thought, no, he had a stroke, right? Didn't he have a stroke? Wasn't that his whole thing? He had a stroke and then he like turned into a Trump supporter. Fetterman looks like he should be on the hot dog roller at a 7-Eleven. Bro's a human glizzy. Oh my god. That is that's funny. You're a funny guy. Super Lineman says, thanks, brother. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's my big 40. I'm no longer, I've always considered myself like, hey, I'm still young. I'm in my 30s, right? And we got 3 days left of being in our 30s. Then we're just officially just an old man in my 40s. Charlie Kirk was an inside job. Dems revolting. Penta, we dropped this one earlier. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you and your generosity and support of the channel for being around forever at this point, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Patrick, thank you. Super generous as well. Happy birthday, Nate and Joy. Thank you guys both. That's super, super generous of you guys. And again, I'll try to do something for the birthday because we'll have everybody out there. You know what I mean? We'll all be there in person. So I'll try to do something together. We'll figure it out. I'd like to see John Fetterman and Mitch McConnell debate. Oh my God. Oh man, that would be a watch, would it not? Did you see the NYC's mayor about BB, friend of the show? We played it. We played it earlier. Yep, we played it earlier. Like we said, based. We'll see if he does it. F, the AC. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Michael said you should read the Declaration of Independence out loud. Good platform for it. You're probably not wrong. We probably should go over the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution at some point on this show. Not that our audience needs it, but maybe I should do an episode and just say, MAGA, this is for you. That's the title of the episode. And then all I do is read those two documents. Nothing else, just that, and then end the show. It's probably not a bad idea. Ozzy says, happy birthday, brother. Enjoy a beer on me. Thank you, Ozzy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. Super generous of you guys. Appreciate the birthday wishes. OSINT nugget of the day, 20 KIA, also 4 months into the Afghanistan war. Now, look at that. Look at that. 4 months into the Afghanistan war, 20 KIA. Interesting. Kind of the point I was making earlier. Thank you, brother. Honey Badger says, get Chase Geyser on your show. He used to host for AJ back on IW. How do I know? I don't know that name. I'll look it up, though. Thank you. Appreciate it. Politicians for... Hey! We can't say that. We can't say that. Thank you. Hello from Leiden, the Netherlands, birthplace of Rembrandt. The Mayflower set sail from Leiden to the Americas. You know what is crazy about that story? On my mom's side, our direct ancestors, mom's mom was on the Mayflower. How crazy is that? I'm actually directly related to John Adams and John Quincy Adams as well through that lineage. Kind of interesting, huh? Technically, I had an ancestor come over on the Mayflower. Seems we're doing shaping operations in Iran with us targeting bridges leading to the coastline. The only thing I don't see are troop movements. Yeah. I mean, so what he's saying here is shaping operations for a ground invasion, right? So prepping the battlefield, prepping the battle space, taking out targets, different things. Shaping operations is shaping the tactical environment for follow-on operations, right? That's what that means. And so the idea here is we would be knocking out air defenses, drone capabilities, ballistic missile sites, all these different things along the coastline to facilitate a ground invasion. So as he said, it looks like we're seeing most of those shaping operations. We just haven't seen the troop movements, as in seeing large mass scale troops move towards the Strait of Hormuz as well. But that doesn't mean we're not going to see it soon. All right. Sad troop deaths, 18 divided by 4 equals 4.5 a month. Extrapolate that out in a year, 54. Extrapolate that out times 20 years, 10,080. So to say that's more than Afghanistan is false, not justifying it. Whoa, no, whoa. Brother. No. We haven't even launched the ground invasion yet. No. We had a ground force in Afghanistan. Those numbers don't even count until we put boots on the ground. Once we put boots on the ground, then you extrapolate those numbers out. Then you extrapolate those casualty numbers out. You don't extrapolate them out before the ground invasion. It's not how it works. Not how it works. You're using math in the incorrect way to try to justify a point there. Not the way it works. No. B. James says, you're not wrong about Kuwait. I was there in 2005 as a fobbit, managed to go to Kuwait City once, and it was clean and beautiful, especially along coastlines. Always wanted to go back to visit. Yeah, gorgeous. Qatar, gorgeous. Dubai, gorgeous. You know, my point with that is when they try to tell you these are shithole third world countries, a lot of these places are not. They are not. Most certainly not that, right? Most certainly not that. We're all patriots of our lands. We just want peace. That's what I want at this point. Like OG, when you're here, your family. Olive Garden, yeah. I was on Hanson for 2 years. Were you? Oh, dude, I was at Torrey Station because I was in first group. But dude, we were on Hanson all the time. That's where we did a lot of our training because at Torrey we don't have our own training facilities. We don't have our own ranges. I spent a lot of time going to Camp Hanson. Actually, bro, worked with the Marines. A lot of the Marines there, man. Thank you though. Thank you. I bet Lindsay faked his death, and now he's living his best life dressed as his sister, and he still keeps his Senate seat and votes for you know who. What if that? The joke here is that he just transitioned. Lady G just transitioned, and it's pretending he's his sister. Okay, that's kind of a clever one. AJ says, happy birthday. Stay safe, broski. I will. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Another beer for Nate Dogg. Happy birthday from Canada. Thank you, brother. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. Rick Scott, U.S. Republican Senator from Florida, oversaw the largest Medicare fraud settlement in U.S. history, told him he was CEO of Columbia. Rick Scott. Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo. Happy birthday, my friend. I turned 31 in this June. Happy 40th. I appreciate you. Thank you. Michael says, link up with all your other podcast friends. Everyone read at the same time on their own channels. It would reach millions, and YouTube can't do shit. Not a terrible idea. Thank you, brother. I actually kind of like the idea of doing that. Actually reading the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence on stream. All right, Maximum, thank you, man. Super, super generous of you for that big $100 donation. Says, happy birthday, Nate. I haven't commented much, but I enjoyed listening to your content ever since the whole Charlie Kirk incident and haven't missed a video. Thank you so much, man. That's very, very generous of you. I appreciate the support this entire time. And yeah, we're going to be covering more Charlie Kirk content. Obviously, we're waiting for the trial at this point, but we will be live streaming that whole trial once it comes. All right. Christopher says, you had one on Mayflower. I had an aunt that was at the Boston Tea Party. Hell yeah. She was the first bag they threw over. Hell yeah, dude. That's based ancestors. Camp Schwab. I didn't spend much time on Schwab. I went there a couple times, but yeah, we don't go through Schwab much. It was all Kadena, obviously. Kadena is where a lot of the guys would live. And then we work at Torrey Station. But yeah, didn't spend a whole lot of time at Camp Schwab. I have been through there, though. Thank you. 7th Com, 2017, 2019. That was right before I got out there. I left I think I went out there in 2022. No, excuse me, 2020 is when I left for Okie. So you would have left right before I got there. All right, we did it, guys. We made it to the end. Made it to the end. And yeah, so thank you so much. Fun show tonight. Again, no Friday show, but if I can get the boys all together, well, we'll all be together because everybody's flying out there. If we're not all too hungover after Friday, then maybe we can do a show together, right? A live show. I think it'd be fun, be a little bit wild. So I'll work on that for you guys. I'll announce it in a video because I'll still have a few videos out before this weekend as well. So don't worry about that. What am I covering tomorrow? Oh, I'm probably going to cover if our militaries merge. We're going to find that out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. As soon as that vote goes through, I will put up a video talking about how we are either no longer a sovereign country or how somehow we were saved by the vote. But we're going to find out then. All right. So thank you guys so much. Final PSAs again. If you guys are, willing to support our nonprofit charity that we're working with, Second Chance Ranch, it's in the pinned comment. They got merch. Any donations are heavily appreciated. Love you guys. And send your chat to Baze. Oh, is Baze going live? Oh, is Baze live? We'll definitely do that. Hopefully Baze has got redirect turned on. But yeah, I'll stand by, guys. Let's send our stream to Baze and see. Well, hopefully Baron's live, but he's about to end. I don't see. Is his show live already? Where is he at, guys? I don't see Baze's show up. Guys, is he live already? Can you guys see? Yeah, we're gonna raid Baze if he's live. I don't see he might not have redirect turned on. Let me see. Let me see if I can find him here. Stick with me for just 1 second. If you guys want to raid Baze. Oh, there he is. All right, we got Baze, but we need him. I don't think he's got
It looks like it's gonna pass to
I don't think he's got redirect turned on. Give me a second real quick. Might be able to find him. Oh, there he is. I got him. All right, guys. So give him the Munchkin Army raid. All right. He just went live. Drop those heavy Munchkin raids. The Munchkin raid. All right. As soon as I end the stream, it is going to send you all Yeah, he just went live. He literally just went live. As soon as I end the stream, you don't got to go over there. It will dump you over there. Okay. So that's what we are going to do right now. Let me make sure. Yep. I'm redirected. We're set up. All right. Drop those Munchkin raids in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And I'll hopefully be back this weekend with another live stream. All right. Take care. Thank you guys.